Well,
So
alright.
the rep is Crypto and Vizsla. They're like kind of like a duo representative. I don't know how to explain it, but
Alright.
like Crypto kind of does like the recruiting, and Vizsla just does like the managing. Like he schedules all of our games. He does all that kind of stuff, like internal management stuff like that. And Crypto's like the recruiter of the team. Like he finds people and tries to pick them up.
And then in terms
But,
of
yeah.
subs, you guys have a full 10-man roster right now, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, the only person like that has been kind of like taking a break, because I mean, justified, is Crypto, because I mean, number one, his house did burn down, so he had to literally start fresh. He lost all of his stuff, like literally everything. So he ended up getting a job. So yeah, he's been kind of busy with that recently, which is why he hasn't been like playing. But he still tries. Like we just played not too long ago. On Sunday, I'm pretty sure we played the Sunday tourney. And yeah, so he still tries to like play a little bit, but you know, he's been busy with his job, which is justified. So
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate, but it's understandable.
no, seriously. Like it's actually, I mean, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, bro.
I know that's some crazy stuff, though. But
Yeah.
with your subs, in your opinion, would you rather have, you know, a very, let's say, storied and good 10-man right now, or would you rather take some developmental players in that 10th spot, those 9th, 8th spots?
I mean, right now, I think we have like, honestly, I don't know, because the only problem I see with our like subs is the fact that their availability isn't like the best, which
Yeah.
is understandable because, you know, I mean, we can't let them know the games they're playing ahead of time. It just is kind of on the spot. So we kind of, the only reason we really like cycle our subs is because some like just never play and they're never available, you know? So that's the only reason why. But I mean, obviously I would like to have like really good players on there, but some of them don't want to play because, you know, they don't get playtime. And so they go join another team and you can't double roster anymore. So they go join another team where they're not a sub and they're a main starter. Or, I mean, they just don't play, like I said. So I mean, we have Chem, like, if you know Jevin,
Yeah.
we have quite a bit of Chem with him now. And he's like kind of like our sixth man is what we call it. You know, when we don't have anyone available, he's the first one we'll come to. So we have the Chem there with him. We have Buddha. We have a lot of Chem with him. Like, he was our main sixth man before Jevin, and then before he made his own team. So we have Buddha, who has like, we have quite a bit of Chem with, and he's just a good overall player. He reminds me of Stargazer. He's like really humble. And then honestly, after that, we're kind of like, the other three is just kind of like a rotating shithole. I can't lie.
I mean,
like,
at least you're honest.
Yeah, we don't really like use those last three unless the first two are available, and even then they really like ever say they can play. So that's why we kind of cycle those last three a lot. But
Okay.
yeah.
What do you, like, let's say those, what are the biggest teams that you, like, think are gonna be the next ones up, if any? Or do you think that there isn't really anyone
Definitely,
that's
I definitely think Buddha's team, they won Roller Saturday, or Roller Sunday, actually. And they're playing with that exact same roster, and they have, like, so much Chem, and they're all, like, really good players. So I honestly think that's, like, I think they're the number 3 team right now. Us being second and Obey being first. But honestly, I think Obey is starting to downgrade a bit because they don't, like, take it seriously anymore. At least JBA doesn't. So
as an official technical coach of Wild Boys, I'm not allowed to make a statement there. But yes, yeah, I get your opinion.
yeah. So
Do you think there's any teams that are coming, or I suppose besides OOG 7, do you see like any, like, let's
honestly,
say...
I don't like have my eye out for like a lot of teams. I mainly just like, I'll see a team do really good and I'll judge them based off of like that and who they're beating and stuff.
Yeah.
So the only one I have like really noticed is like Buddha's team, but I definitely do think there's like some up and comers up there. Like, honestly, I can't name them off the top of my head. I'm about to go to the rosters and see. I'm actually curious because I know there is one other team that I think is like hella underrated.
Let's see if I can think. Wolves, Zave, not Barros.
Oh,
They're 0
Zave.
4.
Zave Esports with Rulaway in them.
They've been. I mean,
I just don't know anyone. I don't
Cell's
know
just
anyone
got
on
player
their
of the week,
team.
so they're moving with some good motion with that.
Yeah. Monarchs, the team we just played, they're like, I'm not gonna say they're good, but they're definitely not terrible. And I heard they beat like a good team. Like in rank, they be ranked warriors too.
Yeah, no,
So
that's.
Monarchs, they're not bad.
Is that Charlie Worley's team, or is that Redemption?
Who? Monarchs?
Yeah.
No, that is L1XH1.
Oh yeah.
Vexy, Recap, Epiphany, Foreign, Sincere.
Then I remember because, yeah, no, Spray's the rep of it, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, because my old D2 team currently has Recap on there as one of our players.
Oh, I see Wolves now. So it's like Wolves is the old what was that team? I actually forgot the team, but it used to be Canada, Walkie Rav, Shucks Love, and they played in Carnival. At the time. We ended up beating them in Carnival our first time, but I don't remember their name. But yeah, 5.2 is on their like come up right now too.
I don't know. I think they already had their come up. Honestly, in my opinion, I think that they're trending downwards. But
yeah, honestly, yes and no, because we'd be like beating them, but they sit in rank now for their living. So yeah, that's cool. They just grind ranks, and yeah, it's pretty annoying to play against them because they just do rank shit. But I definitely think they've gotten better than what they used to be because they've played so much more. Because, I mean, they just beat us in the last Friday, it was RPL Friday finals. And I got pissed off. I beat Evil Grandpa's team, and just to lose finals to fucking Physics. So, yeah, that's great.
I don't know, we'll see.
But, I mean, yeah. It's honestly just, it's how they play. I mean, every day is different. Some people have off days, so, I mean, maybe we caught them on a good day.
I don't know, I have some... As much as I'd like to hate on my old D2 team, they're probably going to do well, and I'm going to eat my words for leaving them, but we all can't win, I guess.
Hey man, there's always an LFT channel. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I'm a coach for a T3 team right now. I'm casting. I gotta be the production side for now. Maybe I'll go back to playing, but to be entirely fair, I wasn't that good when I played. I was
my only advice to if you're gonna play, bro, you gotta like solely focus on playing, because you're never gonna get good unless you are consistent. That's what I learned.
Oh yeah,
Consistency is the key.
Dude, I'm a coach, genius. I know the basic thoughts. I promise you.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I've jumped back and forth between them because coaching PC I really enjoy it. Playing is a different feeling. It always has been. It always will be.
You get adrenaline when you play, especially good teams.
The middle ground for me would have been coaching console, but no team has the passion for that, so
yeah,
that'll stay a hopeful dream.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I tried to talk to Wolves about that, and they were not so keen.
Really? They turned you down?
Just scroll back in general and see if you can find a message from me talking about Wolves.
Okay, got it.
That's how that ended.
Oh, okay.
Or I'd search it up even. I know, we're not gonna say that here because I might have been vulgar as a coach. I'm supposed to be professional here.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, I'm assuming the lack of reaction means you probably have not read that. No, I don't know. It's not my brightest moment, but...
Yeah.
Everyone's had their not bright moments.
Yep, we all make mistakes, bro. We're human.
Some are just a little more PRable than others. But, like, I don't know. What do you just want to stay in console comp for now? Is there any changes you want to make?
Yeah, that's my goal right now, is to just kind of stay in console comp and like win in everything. Like my main two goals right now, bro, are winning Scissors League and then winning a BOGO. That's like, once I do that, I mean, at that point, I mean, I'll have to figure out what to do from there. But I'll at least feel like good enough to be able to leave the scene by like I could say I kind of like beat the game, you know? Because at that point, I feel like you beat the game. You win the hardest tourney to possibly win. You win the best league. You have, at that point, if we won, we'd have 11 league wins. So we're like one of the only teams to have like double-digit league wins. So we'll have that. I'd say I got pretty known in the community. So I say I can accomplish that, or I accomplished that. So I think like all that's left is really just winning scissors and winning a BOGO.
Okay,
Once I do that, I don't know.
Yeah, I was about to say what's next, but apparently that's a little unexplored for you for now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll, like, I might continue a little bit after that, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Might end the career.
Maybe. I might have to retire on a good note, you know? That's all I'm saying.
It would certainly be surprising, I'll give you that. Abolish the probably one of the more storied players of all time retires.
Yeah, yeah. I've been playing for a long time. I mean, we'll see. I might not, but we'll see.
The thoughts are there, and I don't know. I mean, I get it. I don't know, I took like a year break from Siege after being... I coached one good team in T3. They went off to go do their own thing, and then I just quit. Then tried to coach console, failed miserably, and then I'm back under the Wild Boys name, because... I don't know, they asked and I said sure. I don't have a great reason.
It's all about finding the right place. So, I mean,
We'll
if you
see.
like it in Wild Boys, then there you go.
I enjoy it for now, but
Yeah.
I have a feeling that it would not surprise me if console comp takes off, or some leagues that I'm possibly helping cast. I might go join the console competitive scene again. Am I good? No. Would it matter? No, but I don't know. Maybe I get lucky. I'm looking for team. You never know. Maybe I can make that.
You could get picked up by a good team, and I mean, if you're playing with that team, all you need is chem, bro. I mean, how do you think CC got so good? I mean, I wouldn't even say we have a couple people with good gun skill, but it's mainly our chem, which is why when our chem's off, we're ass.
I know that for sure. Yeah, no, I've tried to. That's the only thing that I cannot. I'm okay at it, but I'm good at developing players as a coach, but motivation is not my forte. Yeah,
Dude,
hope
honestly,
you got an IGL to do it.
I don't even know how we're still motivated to play, to be honest. But hey, we're still here, so somehow.
Do you
we
think
managed.
that there'll ever be, or more accurately, do you think there'll be any changes to that 5 anytime short term, or no?
Maybe. I don't know. I know Quickie's been like hating himself because he's been doing like pretty bad as of lately, like for quite a little bit now. I don't know the situation with Crypto. He's been really busy with his job and hasn't like had anywhere to really like coming back for like full time.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are like the only two I really see getting changed there. But I mean, the second Vizsla is gone, I think the team's done.
You think he's the?
Vizsla
Is he IGL
is our
or,
main glue.
or is he?
He's IGL. Like I'd say he's like general like manager. Like he made an entire Discord server and has the scheduling for every single game in a channel, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Schedules every game. So I don't think we would really do good without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Then this is something I've asked a lot of the top teams. Most say no, at least now. Do you guys scrim at all?
We used to a lot, and I was gonna go talk to my team about that. I think we're gonna start scrimming again. But we stopped because everyone in scrims don't try, and it's not fun to play or do anything if you're just not gonna try in scrims, so.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I kind of get what you mean.
Yeah, I mean, every time we've scrimmed, we scrimmed way. They were just running around the map, went to the same site 5 times in a row, and it was basically borderline useless, so. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Why.
I think that there are going to be a couple of teams that'll probably explode in the comp a lot faster than they should. At least the competitive scene. Because once again,
I'm looking forward to it. I need some more comp teams to play here.
I don't know. I'm gonna eat my own words and I'm gonna hate it. But yeah, no, my old comp team is probably gonna do well too. They're what 2-0, 3-0 at this point. They have Recap on their team. Possibly Thundy coming back.
Yeah,
under
we
them.
shouldn't have lost yesterday, bro. To recap, like I'm actually still pissed off. So
He's,
that's cool.
I mean, yeah, he's good. He's still got it.
I know, but I mean, there's no way in hell we should have lost that, bro. I had Quickie blocked because he sold Attorney, so I didn't hear him the whole game. And then Bizlo is just, I don't know, he wasn't in the mood. He was like on his period or something. He wasn't talking the entire game.
Hear me
And it
out.
was just me and the Devin and Star.
Hey, I mean, at least I'll
Hey.
be there. I am an absolute Siege nerd. I know the stats like no other.
Yeah. Hey, man. God.
Nah, hear me out. Nah, Visa, I'm gonna force you to watch this my application. Oh, boy, CC. Hey, I'll be better than the shitty 10th man. I know I can at least do that much.
Yeah.
Cause I'm
Hey.
on 24/7.
Maybe.
Man.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting
You're a grinder
desperation.
like that?
That's all. 99% of my time is Siege, dude.
Hey,
right now it's
I mean,
Siege and spreadsheets
I can
because
say-
coach are like, this is gonna be week 2 of counting cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'll be.
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
My
any
favorite
moment.
moment,
Before this fucking
honestly,
shitty-ass
bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like,
Can they just
I
be
started
okay
around like
with
season 2,
C6
around there, and
or CJ?
I kind of just played it for fun, and I never really like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides the
more.
toxic people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because
Oh.
he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like. He'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's a very
He's a very
so
happy-go-lucky
chill,
kind of
and-
guy.
Yes, he is literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So, I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so, like, just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Like
your
him.
accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but, you know, just can't damn do that, apparently. But,
What's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but honestly, I would just say like our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins like within our team. Like, we
Yeah.
hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
So-
have been together for what, a year or so now, minimum.
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either. Yet, at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right, I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you shoot. More issues aside right now, and we're going to go to a technical break as you see the last few get in. This is going to be week 2 of counting cards. And we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'd be?
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
my
any
favorite
moment
before this fucking
honestly, bro, it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like, I started around like season 2 around there, and I kind of just played it for fun. And I never really, like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
okay.
That's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit more.
To talk to people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like, he'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's just
a very happy-go-lucky kind of guy.
Yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so like just chill.
Okay, let's go to your accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but you know, just can't damn do that apparently. But
what's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
Yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but honestly, I would just say like our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins like within our team. Like, we hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for what, a year or so now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either. Yet, at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right, I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you shoot for?
If I don't win a Sunday, I'm gonna be pissed.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can. Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser. 'Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers. Seconds left before insertion. Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. A bomb has been located. off the bomb diffuser.
Mic issues back after what feels like a little bit. Yeah, no, Gulia, there was a mic issue. I was fixing it, but
Attackers need to locate and defuse
huge
as many
plays
bombs as
from
they can.
the side of actually both teams so far. Cav getting a double when it was needed, and should really be a great game. We're seeing Matrix, all of these players really struggle almost. You'll get these early round swings, these, you know, first 2 kills matter so much in a game because you'll see so much value in those, and the real thing you have to watch out for is not a lot of teams can consistently get those early entries. Cells is one of the best at it. There's a reason that he just aced, and still one of the best entries in all of the stats in console right now.
5 seconds to
Huge
insertion.
improvement from the side of last season. Nowhere near as good, and this one he feels like really dominating. Gone from what most would call a low tier to not even Division 1 entry to arguably one of the premier Division 1 entries right now in flex players. That's the thing about Cells, though, is you can give him these dual roles because he's able to play that flex and entry amazingly well. I've even seen him swap over to soft support and do great. He's such a versatile player. It really just lets so much be able to be possible with the team comp. Both sides trying to look for just a little something to see. Obviously, Pickle's grabbing it early, sort of proving why he is going to be one of the bigger forces in this match. He's been to these grand finals. He's been to almost 9 grand finals by himself. The highest in the entirety of any league player ever for console. You do have to worry about him. Missed drone almost, but just barely. Have taking that aggressive angle with the ramp, hoping to find something. Be unlucky. Flanker grabs one of the hard support, surprisingly find a good kill there. Onto the Brava. Great pick, and really keeps a lot of that utility safe. Just those default cams safe, and that's what we're looking for here. That, once again, is just another gun you have to worry about. It's a less super trade, less criticality, and it's a huge thing to lose. Obviously, Cells having the man of the hour so far, but I wouldn't count out the players on the side of YN here. They have some amazing players here. Matrix is still a great entry. Played a little bit more of an IGL or flex role to help his team, but he can do both. He's not one player. You know, he's not a one-man, you know, stuck on. You can move him almost anywhere, and he's shown to be good. All of the attack-on players are actually relatively versatile themselves. Flanker grabs a kill. Blitz in a 2v4, a lot of angles you gotta watch. You gotta be very careful because there's just so many things you have to see. OOG grabs another. This Blitz seemed to be very hard to kill for them. Everyone's sort of just retreating back here. Time is the big issue. Gets the backhand. Once again, Matrix essentially feels unstoppable in the shield. It's like a Captain America at this point. He just takes all of the space, giving YN a chance. 2v1. Need to run in and get this plant down now. Time is going to be the major issue. A down goes out, and so this plant is no longer safe. However, we see Hike doesn't really know, and going to have to see the flex or soft player, the soft support player, Hike, going to have to jump in here, make an aggressive play, win it out, and would be an amazing round for that 3-side rotation. Angle you can't watch, he doesn't see, he's going to miss. Miss on both sides. Mooch finishes, and really important round there for that 3-side rotation. as you want to get that, that advantage early on. It gives you a little bit more, safety going into these later rounds, and we're gonna see that. Finally, seeing a bit more of life from YN after a very depressing second round. However, I would be lying if I said Cells isn't a common acer. He does it often, and there's a reason for it. He's one of the statistically best acers. He does well in those 1vx scenarios. He's one of the better entries and easily one of the most improved players statistically. Shotting up a lot recently, and this Voltage team, despite their failure of playoff success with Pickles, it's a great team. You still have good supports, you have a good roster and good bench that most would be starting, or the 6th man in most teams, but even the 10th man here is relatively valuable to them. It shows the depth they have. Yeah, Matrix being a great shield player. Even Cav, you see a lot of your entries be amazing at these shields, and it allows you to go for these more passive plays, or you do a blitz and that Blackbeard and you've seen a double aggression, and you just go hard aggression for that double shield. You just take as much space as you can, and we've seen that with them. The versatility we can see from the entries on the side of YN is going to be the big changing factor, and I think their way of getting some good rounds in here. You can see the aggressive aim and playing style of Matrix on that entry, but he can still use the Blackbeard. He can still take space and is one of the better shield players. He can be that dual threat you really have to worry about no matter where you're at. He can play up that clash. We've seen him do it before and been relatively good on it. Stats don't look too pretty, but it works for the clash. A lot of times you're just going to delay. Capcan placing these down at the last second. Cells holding probably one of the more ridiculous things I've ever seen. Gonna have to fall off here, and definitely a faster point. However, re-aggressing back on the Blackbeard here, hoping to find something. Both sides trading that pot shots, hoping for something special, but it'd be more crazy if we did see anything. Pickles drops there. A lot of pressure, and he just didn't feel right to hold it. Relatively good clear so far, but you just gotta really worry about the time they could be taken. You can't get this verticality early, it won't matter. Even if you get, these default cams, these cave claws, and possibly, maybe even some of these cap cans here. There's just a lot you gotta do. And this is a very hard delay setup with how much is there, so you gotta get on the site early. You gotta really push a direct take early on. You can't sit here and wait. Ram does get that little bit of start, getting the workshop, trying to create some cutoffs here and force him back into site, cue him in, and sort of make servers off the play. Good damage will not be enough. Clearly scared a little bit. Cav grabbed the first kill a little late. A lot of aggression, we're sort of seeing it. Everything's starting to mount up on the side of Voltage. Matrix grabs another. Big players here are going to be Pickles because he's just in such a prime position to cause chaos for a hatch drop if they go for it. Body drops first. Dottie goes down. Down to your 2 players. Cells, Pickles, some of the best there. Cut off there. A 1v5, and it should be a bad round for Voltage. Pass it to stat padding. Smutny grabs the kill from above, and despite the vulgar name, we're going to see 3-1 start side of YN. The big thing you have to worry about, though, as the side of Voltage is, since you went lower bracket, you start 1 map down. You're no longer starting, you don't have an even slate. You have to already make up the momentum, and that's such a hard thing to do. Where we only have to see YN win these 2 early maps, and then they're done. It's really hard to try to grapple with that and stay in a good mindset. I think that's gonna be the biggest thing is to Pickles keep this team together. He's not the IGL, but he's the leader. He's the one that most of you think Voltage, you'll think Pickles. And he is that internally. He is that player that sort of helps everything stay together. And we're gonna have to keep seeing him show out, help his team keep that mindset ready, because there's so much that can go wrong, and you're already very careful. Obviously, Cell's top right of the server. One good ace to give his team a round, and a little concerning to be fair. Only round you've gotten so far is an ace from player, and it's really the start you want. You want to hopefully see more success on other players. You want to see Pickles, you want to see Gotti, all these players succeeding in their positions, but so far it's just Cells. It's really not a great start, and there's a reason they banned that Azami away. That ace shook them, and if we can see Cells get some other kills early on, he can keep his team in the fight, but you really got to worry about momentum here. You know, with a team that has quite a few inexperienced players to BO5s. They're not used to these longer formats, and that's a scary prospect. Both teams here trying to sort of prove that, you know, they're really underrated in their orgs. Voltage possibly moving to another org after this, after using hopefully a grand finals win to front a big move, but wouldn't look all too great if you lose to the org you might move to. YN, one of the more underrated teams in Wild Boys. A lot of teams that it makes them feel sometimes not getting the attention they deserve, but they're still a top tier team and they've shown it so far. Capito clearing it out, and Cells forced to run back. Thermite's going out, we're seeing the pressure sort of all mount at the same time. Watchful trying to throw a smoke, gets shot down. Grims go out. A lot of pressure is coming continuously. You know what's coming. The bigger issue though is if we see Cells and Watchful hold it down, you're gonna need to see a bigger push from, you know, the side of Fountain here. Try to get some kills. And Gotti being spotted. Trying to hold it down. He opts to run away, let the time just sink in, and the longer we see YN go without a kill, it does give the advantage to the defense, but immediately after Matrix takes it. Getting Pickles on that, on the Goyo there, big pick. Getting a really big frag player. Watchful caught out 5v3, YN looking even stronger in this execute. Plant's gonna go down, and really not to worry about time, as that's gonna be the big issue. Quad for Matrix can ace the round. Dominant plays from him. Flanker once again putting up value. Ace for Matrix, 2 within 5 rounds, and game set on aggression in these big plays we've seen where they just swing rounds, and YN pick up a round off of a Blackbeard ace, and these shields have so far been the dominant issue for both sides. Really want to see a clash maybe more, but crazy start so far, and a lot you have to worry about in the side of Voltage, and no timeout surprisingly. I think the issue is maybe they don't know it's there. I made sure all teams are very aware, that and the infinite overtime of all finals, but we'll see. Looking over the stats here, we're seeing most of YN really have a pretty dominant start. Entries have kind of been split a little bit more than they want, and Pickle's actually been the big issue, because he's 0-2 on him. He's taking these early fights, but he can't win them. He hasn't been that primary entry they need right now. Bell's 1-0 on it, but that's padded by that AC pad, and the only really round for Voltage so far. Honestly makes it more worrying as a team, because you're no longer like one all-round off of, you know, a bunch of players. Did not realize they were a paid team. Good for YN. It'll certainly be a good step for them, though, to try to put themselves next to those obeys in the minds of people, next to the CCs, and show out here would definitely help. Gotti getting aggressive as the soft support here. Apparently soft means playing that aggressive role, and Watchful sitting in these, everyone's just sitting in these almost really weird stances, I think. We're just trying to see Voltage possibly go for an odd off kill to try to give themselves that entry, give themselves that padding. And it's not a bad idea, honestly. This idea of giving oh, just a little bit more of a surprise. Aside of YN is not an awful idea. And the thing you got to worry about is Matrix here. Doing the Superman on this Blackbeard so far. We see with his kills. Giving the shield and gonna make a masterpiece. Oh, the flanker catching him out early on. Could flank from behind. There doesn't seem to be a lot of people looking. Defrag is looking, but it's possible he changes his spacing. He opts to run back. Everyone's just looking ready for this plant. Bodies are coming, and you really just got to be ready for it. You're gonna see the flashes. You're gonna see the smokes, and everything is gonna come down here. It's really just a matter of when. Frag makes a move now. YN gonna grab a pick off of a Claymore. We see Cav here on this rappel, possibly getting some kill and damage, forcing a cutoff, and time's just gonna delay more and more. Cell's in an amazing position to cause chaos, but he's got to do a lot here. Grabs one, two from Cells. Beautiful start, 2v3. He's got to get more though. He's got to be safe here. It's gonna be close. He could barely be killed here. Stop him. He doesn't know where the plan is going. Barely time-wise. Mooch. Good lord, my bad, apparently. Looks like it'd be a free one, but Cav, Mooch having a beautiful closeout there, and it's just absolute domination from the side of YN so far. No timeouts even really necessary. You just saw them just keep taking these rounds off of these shields. They'd get that post plant down, and once they got that diffuser down, it felt like it was impossible. The retakes were being held so well, and they were forcing that time to be taken at a point that wouldn't be usable. You're seeing a couple of players struggle, you know, you're seeing Frags. He is 0-5, but with everyone else on your team, it's not really a big deal, honestly. You're seeing, you know, just so many other players really pop off here, and I think it's the big thing you don't have to worry about. You're seeing Matrix drop 11 with these shields here, and essentially be the Captain America. Just do everything for his team. You're seeing Cav, you're seeing all of these entries, and even the flex players really do their job as good as they need and actually exceed expectations so far. YN were not expected to be the team to come out here. I saw Voltage as the favorite simply because everyone assumed Pickles was going to win one, but this is looking even more dangerous because if you win this as the side of YN, this is match point. This is serious point. You win this, you win next map, and it's over. You're starting a 5-1 and gives you a lot of wiggle room. We're seeing the clash go off after the what feels like fairy tale performance on that Blackbeard and Blitz, and no surprise there. Sometimes I second guess teams and really look at it on paper, but apparently YN want to prove that they're much more beyond what their roster looks. The flashy names aren't what really drives them. It's, you know, the chemistry. These cutoffs here, we're seeing just timings be so much better. And it feels like, compared to their early performance in the upper bracket, they had a massive resurgence. We're seeing all of them feel much better in their own shoes and their roles being filled in a time. You know, we're not seeing these big back high performances. We don't need to. You see Matrix get the kills he needs, and otherwise it feels like everyone else is doing, as you know, what they need. Obviously, a bit of a what feels like backpack performance on both teams so far. Cell's the only one that's hugely positive, and then you see Matrix obviously with what looks like comical stats. And you're just seeing these big entry players sort of pop off. The problem is you need to see more from Pickles here. He's supposed to be the superstar of this game. He's supposed to really, really determine it. Wait, YN's final game on context, please, context. Don't tell me they're breaking up after this. If so, then shit, I might see if I can get a couple quick angle of the century. I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen that from Smutney. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one on the vending machine. That might be a first. But why am I final get really? I hope not, jeez. Because if so, then well, this team's gonna get either poached back into Wild Boys or someone else can take it. Because they have a great roster. I think the playoffs team was a little shaky, but I think they're certainly proving that that was no more than a fluke, and taking them to the BO5 and they're dominant. They're also smart enough to go to a map like this. Matrix ups the shield here, and apparently he's anti-shield too. Not only is he good on the shields, he is the bug repellent to him. So great start from him, and seems to be really just an unstoppable player so far. 3 bodies still over here for Voltage, and looking for something. Cells gets a kill off of Claymore, but you're really looking for a big pick here. You're looking for Matrix. You're looking for, you know, even Mooch. Just something to really give you an advantage. It's measurable. Matrix taking that advantage instead. Voltage looking ever so much more worse, and feels like timings just aren't really there for Voltage right now. They can't handle Matrix, and so far his gameplay, he's just been on top. Trade goes out of all things. Cells in a 1v2, he's been in these situations, but he's not looking right. Neither team is. Gotta play perfect here, because you're being closed in on. Both sides watching. It's a 1v1. Cells, one of the best entries right now in all of Galaxy. This would be certainly a moment to prove. A 1v2 and a 1v5 would add to his resume. Mooch holding this aggressive angle here. He might not know. A whiff from him doesn't give it. Both of them know where they are. So it's a question of who can win it. Mooch wins, and YN moves to match point. Damn. YN looking to be dominant as their farewell sort of tour nearing that
Attackers
close.
need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Certainly a grand finals win would help really set that team into pretty good cement, to be entirely fair, and end off on one of the better notes you could ask for. I mean, they've done their job here. 6-1 point, and Voltage, I feel, just demotivated. You have Cells here having to show out every single round just to keep it close. It's a scary, scary prospect going into these games here. Because time is sort of running down for you to do something. Well, certainly a great farewell tour so far, and from what I do know of other teams, actually, we're probably going to see quite a few of them come back in the Wild Boys, hopefully. Stay within what feels like a pretty good roster overall from the org. You obviously have the superstars, Obey, CC, but you have quite a few developing academies. Really exciting possibilities. Wild Boys if some of these teams work out. A lot of entry being done here. We're just trying to take that second floor space, possibly get a close in on the Bandit here, and that's really going to be the big player you want to try to get. C4 misses, and the shield picked up by Hike. Real question is, can he yield it the same way that his team did? Question is no. Matrix, apparently 1 of 1 in this game. Flanker drops 1, and Voltage up final, it feels. Being closed in on, though. Sides all just sort of, you know, coming down here on this top floor. 1 left upstairs. I think he missed the sight. Just the Mooch running away for dear life. Low got finished. Flanker 1v4 here, and unless Matrix goes some of the greatest comebacks we've seen, there should be a round for Voltage. All players are up here, so it's not an impossible strategy. The big question is, can Cells find him? He does, and Voltage get a desperate round on the board. The problem so far is just, it doesn't feel like it'll be enough. YN looking great, and it's hard just out a hot team like this. You certainly have the ability to do it. You have Pickles, you have Cells, you have one of the best entry duos, at least on paper, in the entirety of SSL, and you really got to lean into that. You got to let your players go wild. We have to see Pickles and Cells keep going off, because otherwise this game is going to be over. They have good soft supports, they have good flexes, but they're not going to win against YN. They have a better overall roster, but if we can see the two best players really show out, this game's still very winnable for them, I think. This series at a minimum. However, the bigger thing is, as a team, if you lose this map with Voltage, you essentially have to have one of the greatest comebacks in console League history ever, because you'd have to come back and win 3 maps in a row. That is a tall task for even the Giants player. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's really going to test the mentals here. And I'd argue Obey would be less ready to do it. I don't think they have the mental for it. And I think a team like YN here, or a team like Voltage, they're going to be better in these longer games here. They're going to be better at closing out because I think they have more chemistry, in my opinion. But neither here nor there. Voltage, still a relatively similar lineup, different people playing it. Hike still on the shield, but so far it's been shown that Matrix is kind of one of one on it. Apparently the best shield player in what feels like the entire lobby by far. Certainly the player to watch out for, because losing to him is a scary thing to deal with. Pickles clear, but there's a lot of bodies and time you have to waste up here if you want to get it done. We see all of the major players upstairs. We see the Godo, we see that Mute. With 4 bodies upstairs, in what feels almost like an SSG hold, you're going to have to be very smart about getting your players. Because if you can get one of those middle players, if we can see, you know, if we can see Mooch die, if we can see Cav die, it makes it a lot easier. However, smokes are going to delay even more time, try to limit that aggression here. Force a play from flanker in what isn't really a great position to move in on. Matrix has the first, and Leash Shotgun proving to be a very, very annoying item to deal with. And been the big issue. Smokes just keep delaying it. Can't do anything. With one more in pocket, time's just going to wind down. YN, big kill. The advantage widens, and they can get another smoke now. It's big for him. All takes one good jiggle peek to get it down. Eventually, time is going to wind down even more. You're not going to be able to really move until 45 seconds. Time's coming down. We're seeing Hike have to take these different angles because it wasn't the plan with the smoke. It might be too late, not soon enough. Too little, too late, if you will. Hike does grab one, triple kill. But Matrix just kind of dominating on this Legion, and it shouldn't matter. Map 1 could very well be over here. All it takes is one finish. Pickles would have to go one of the better clutches of the night, probably. There's too much he has to do as a player. Grabs one, but they're just going to keep holding angles on him. They know not to get aggressive. They know that it benefits them if they just don't do anything. A whiff from Mooch here, big whiff, and you have to see a play from him. Pickles can't decide to lose here. 10 seconds, winding down. Matrix finishes in a very Matrix way, getting that kill on the shotgun, and gonna go to a break. This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'd be?
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah. What is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
my favorite moment
before this fucking
honestly, bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like genuinely, I always played Siege like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like
Can they just
I
be
started around
away?
like season 2
Yeah,
around
there's
there,
two
and
sex or CJ.
I kind of just played it for fun, and I never really like, you know,
Make your way
had
to
like
its
a really
location
strive or
immediately.
passion to want to play it. And then I met Crypto Cow, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides the
more.
toxic people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because
Alright.
he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like no joke. Like you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like he'll just be a humble guy. Like he will never argue with you. Like I don't know. He's
Just a very
so
happy-go-lucky
chill.
kind of
And
guy.
yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So I'd say yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean I could see why. He's so like just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Like
your
him.
accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but you know, just can't damn do that apparently. But
What's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but honestly, I would just say like our biggest accomplishment is hitting I think 10 league wins like within our team. Like we
Yeah.
hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
So-
have been together for what, a year or so
I think,
now,
like,
minimum.
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Not
impressive.
planning to go anywhere either. Yet at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. Alright? I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you
Seriously.
shoot for?
If I don't win a Sunday, I'm gonna be pissed off. But
Who do you want to play with?
once
then?
I win,
As we see everyone get in really quickly, going to introduce the map. Nighthaven, you know it. One of the strongest maps for both teams. OOG so far flawless on it in playoffs and should be a good one. Players coming back in, going to be apparently a little bit of a slow start here as we have a couple of tech issues. Going to wait a little bit before we see a tech pause and hopefully not too long here. We'll be right back. We're back a little later than I hoped, but better late than never, I say. Both teams load in as these servers implode themselves, because console is console. Now, I don't have any affiliate points, but what are y'all thinking? What are we thinking? Are we seeing a Voltage? You know, they're gonna get a game here at least at minimum, or are we gonna see YN 3-0? That'd be a belt to ass. Personally, I think it'd be hilarious if the farewell tour includes a beatdown onto Voltage, and the team that refuses to win a single championship stays winless. And Cells will probably find a new team, because that man cannot be a top 5 fragger or top 10 fragger in all of console league right now and not be on Voltage and not winning. Certainly a bad look. I would say that. And also not using a timeout. But apparently, I don't know what I have to do. I have to make like a PSA to all console teams to actually use their timeouts. Is that what I got to do? Got to make a console YouTube PSA and spread it like it's the gospel. PSA, use your timeouts. They're actually worth something, I promise. Teams apparently need to actually use it because it's been bad. But Nighthaven, both of these teams close to best maps. Hockeymaker popping in for his occasional shit talking. I would hate, but I also kicked you off of PMZ before you even had a chance. Like, what? All jokes aside, YN Voltage. Let's hope for a closer game, not one that is as much as a belt to ass. I prefer to see a little bit of competitiveness in my BO5s. But you never know. You never know.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
Maybe we start to see some differences. Voltage are on their better map. Border, they are miserable at. They're like 0-2, 0-2 as of recent from what I see. So yeah, there's a reason they almost insta-ban it every time. You certainly saw why, because they kind of sucked. Respectfully. Another way to do it. Let me follow.
10 seconds to go. 5 seconds. Attackers have discovered the location of a bomb.
Dang, I don't know how to make it follow.
Defuse a bomb.
Sadly, my stick shift controller is not really gonna help here. Actually makes it look relatively cool for these kind of shots. It'll slowly rotate. Like that. Gotti on that shield. Apparently the entry now, because aggression is key when you are the soft support or flex here. A bit risky, but we'll see. Bodies galore over here. So, bit risky. One for both sides here. Kind of just holding an aggressive angle in Aqua, hoping for a little bit of pixie dust, possibly to swoop in and give them a free one, but each team is kind of just going to drone. Maverick trick goes out. Beautiful C4 from Cav. Traded out, but that also means Wall is not gone, but losing your Maverick here was definitely not a happy thing to see. Well, you're kind of going to have to sort of freestyle it at this point. You don't have a full hold here because of that little strip, and you're going to have to try to walk through Matrix with a big miss there. We are going to see the shield of Gotti on Blackbeard move up here. Going to be the big one you're going to want to watch out for. Despite his poor performance before, he's one of the better shield players in Galaxy. And foot shots aside, I think you're really just looking for some improvement here on the side of Voltage. Matrix, apparently not seeing that though. Drives Watchful pretty early here, and with a minute left, time kind of getting worse and worse. Gotti's going down, tied back up again with Gotti on the shield, finally grabbing a pick. Frag keeps aggressive angle with a mute shotgun. Prime position, do something. Lurk up, but he shoots too early, and YN drop wins against a shield. Not the, I don't think the intended outcome. 1v2, Cells down below. He aced before, he's done 1v2, 1v3. Been a carry for a team, but apparently he wins the vert from below and down to drop here. The Warden He's gonna stick himself in a pretty passive angle here, and I think kind of just wait for it all to come towards him. He hears the shots Aqua, and the better question is, can he sort of play with his DP shield and play smart? Because one body left, drop swings. YN go up round 1 here. Really doing great to get this early momentum. Both maps so far. They're getting these round 1s. They're getting, you know, these early picks here, and it really gives them that feeling that they got this. And you can kind of see that just in between each team and how they play. Kind of going to be interesting to see if we can just have any momentum from Voltage here. Because this is their do or die. If they don't win this, they're gone. However, YN have a lot of time. They can lose 2 whole maps here. They could lose this
Defenders,
and Chalet, but they still have Clubhouse to go to, and that's one of their best maps. So you're going to have to come back 3 whole maps if you want to win this. 2 just to stay up. Just to scraggle to a point where it's match point for both. Or series point. Which is honestly even worse, because now you got to head against one of the stronger teams the later they go on. They do not get weaker. That's even worse, honestly, because it's so hard to pull that off. It's so hard to convince your team to keep going, especially when you have so many players that are struggling. You're going to need to see a better play from Cells and Pickles. You need to see more from Pickles, more accurately. Cells already had a beautiful performance by himself, but a top 3 league performance and a top 10 fragger isn't going to do it when you need your entire team to kind of step. A one-man army is not really going to work here. Surprisingly, Cells as the entry on the Capital of all things. However, with the current composition, I kind of have the assumption that right now we're not seeing Cells in the entry. I don't think he's supposed to be. He's going to play that flex role, and they're going to put Pickles and Gotti on that more of this aggressive role, using the shield and using that Ash, but it hasn't looked great so far, so I don't really know if the on-field or the in-game product is going to be any better. Timing's aside, and possibly what could be a better start to an entry if we let the shield kind of go rampage. There's just a lot you have to do, and I don't know if really we can see Pickles do it so far. He really needs to, Pickles needs to prove himself here as a player that can really handle these bigger moments. God, he's spotting that player on the shield, and not really thinking about it, just kind of letting it happen. Cav sneaking down, the same with defrags. That is how his name is said, defrags. Big issue though is he doesn't know. He's just gonna sit in this corner, and if we don't see a great shield clear, he could be caught out. Cells takes damage from a C4, but no death. Great play from Vigil. He's being trapped in. Isn't able to grab both. Damage on a watchful. Bodies go out. YN down 2, but one's low, and Cav is still in a great position here to kind of make a move. A missed flash means
attackers have recovered their diffuser.
he can't really clear it out. I guarantee he was trying to go for above, but missing that is going to be pretty huge here. And the best are holding it. It's really just down to the side of Cav here. If he can get a pick early on, because this plan is going to go down, and that's going to be the big issue. But you're dependent right now on this flank player doing a job. Dependent on them getting some kills here to make this postman a little easier. 2v3, plant is stopped. Grabs one, runs away, despite one being from behind.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Cells can't grab it, and time is starting to wind down here. Harder and harder position, 2v1. Have to have a generational performance here from Cav if he wants to win it. Sound calls, he missed the shot, grabs the end of the kill. Could be a quad for him if he can finish, but the question is, can he? Pickles holds the aggro angle, gets around, and definitely not, I think, a round that was hoped from YN. Started great positioning-wise, and then it all just fell apart from trades, and you gotta be better at trading your players out. You can't let stuff like that happen. because that was essentially just a shot fest, and once you see one person go down in that train, it makes all of it sort of just break down, and we saw that. Series point, I think we're seeing a little bit more fight from Voltage, but we still need to see more fight from other players. It can't just be a two-man show.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Matrix possibly. They're moving, we're fine. Hoped that it would not be a server issue, as any of you on console very much know that this has been dreadful to deal with and no one likes it. But, you know, it is what it is.
Seconds left. 5 seconds.
A relatively similar play from the side of YN here.
Attackers
A little bit less
objective is to locate
verticality
a bomb
held,
and defuse it.
but the players up here are relatively the same, and I think that we could certainly see Matrix move up to one of these stairs here and sort of play this position to lurk on him. Oh, yeah, if Ghoulie doesn't get to it, how it works is, since YN won the upper bracket finals, or semifinals, they automatically get a map here. It was just a strategy Pickles as the owner was willing to try, and he doesn't really like it, so that'll probably disappear, but otherwise it's same normal things as PC. Well, it would be 4 maps, already on match 1, obviously, but infinite overtime, and Mooch grabbing that first kill. Once I think these aggressive plays are just unexpected, and you kind of just don't see it as a team. This flash dangerous, flash entirely out. You see it, good flash, good pick. Just a really great 1-2 from him out on that ramp. You have to be careful here about getting this verticality. Drop, Cav, and Matrix all still close to stairs. Matrix tried to go for a kill. Pickles finds him, and seeing YN start down that one player. Big thing is you want to see if you can find a player before it fully stabilizes. Or even damage here would be huge if you can get Pickles even lower, or Cells maybe, you know, half health. That sort of thing is going to get you such an advantage, because at minimum is going to make these fights easier with your higher fire rate guns like this Vector. You're not going to have the higher damage, but the fire rate could make up for it. Cav, once again on this roam again. Playing this Mozzie in a very aggressive angle, and if it all works out time-wise, you can definitely find something. Frag's got his 1 on the C4. Pivotal pick here, bringing it back to 3-3, and you lose your star player so far. I was still worried about Cells. One of the best entries right now. Grabbing that first pick, aggression, really hard to stop from him, and get both players above. There is nobody that is holding the above, and you know, we see a plant go down here. It's really just, can Better get a plant down? Can he find a spot where he isn't going to be shot? It looks like this corner might be his positioning, but he's got to do it quick. Time is going to run down if he doesn't do anything, and plant's got to go down. He might walk into a kill, but down to Cav to hear it. Stop it. He can't really do either, and he knows it. I'm gonna try to drop Hatcher in a risky play. Shots missed, it's 1v3, drop low, and your counter's looking for anything here. A kill, something to hang your hat on, because a 1v3 if played right is essentially impossible to win. Aggression, drop Cells, star player goes down, you're down to your hard and soft support. Watchful seeing in the corner, so he might not know. Shots given. A bit of a throw, but he isn't looking. Watchful cleans it, Voltage, second round there. Pickles in a good performance so far, and the support's kind of putting a little bit more work. They're starting to really help out, and it's what we need to see if you want to see Voltage win. You got to see more effort put in for them, because they just can't hang right now. But you never know. With this final ban, you really just want to see what we can see adaptation-wise. We see the Valkyrie after that C4 kill. I personally think a bit of a bad ban. The Blitz, however, I enjoy that. I think that you can deal with a Blackbeard if you pre-fire, But a blitz is so much harder to deal with unless you're a warden. And if you have good gun skill and good spacing, that Blackbird can be, stopped. But a good blitz is much worse because there's so little you can do against it once you're flashed. And that's, you really want to hope for that sort of thing. I think now we're just starting to see Voltage kind of come into their own after a very slow map 1. Apparently they decided no warm-up was the play, allegedly, and, well, I'm not going to diss their way of getting ready for a game, but pretty sure nothing is probably a bad way to do it. The bigger thing to see is, can YN handle this more, I guess, warmed up and ready version of Voltage? I'd assume so, honestly. If Matrix can do what he was on that shield, and obviously they crossed off here, but there's 3 shields on that attack, and I think putting him on any 3 is really going to be the problem. Even then, if you, let's say you stop Matrix, stand on the shields, you're leaving so many other ops open. You're leaving Ace, you're leaving all of these high frag power ops to give him right back into an entry kill. You can't win with him, and you really just try to limit when you get to that attack. You gotta try to limit these players like Matrix, like Drop, like Mooch. Problem is, there's only so many operators you can ban, and I think they're gonna run into that, is they really gotta pick what's worse. And you're just gonna play whack-a-mole, but you can never really get it all. Once again, Hike taking the aggressive spots here, going up, trying to find something, and no one's truly surprised by it at this point. However, it's better to know, what is Drop going to do? Is he here? Is he apparently going to aggress here? Both will spot each other. Nade goes out, it's going to get the global shield. Great nade from him to just back off and not worry about any kills. Just get the utility and make it a little easier to execute. Mira is opting, so now holding that is going to be miserable. You're going to kind of have to just sit behind bomb chassis if you want to do anything, and even then it's not entirely safe. Damage, kill from cells, and once again holding this vert from below. He seems to be pretty good at it so far. Cav with one of the best pre-fires or reaction times I've ever seen. Everyone's sort of just trying to group up here. We see the Raptors and the IT side really playing. They have to clear out a lot here as a team. Mooch playing this pillar angle, running over to play an even more aggressive one may be the big issue. Can you deal him? Can you deal with this kind of player? He's been good and been able to really crush out in situations where it's, a little bit less players. And putting him in these 3v3s, these 3v4s, is I think going to benefit him even more. Because he just feels more secure when he doesn't have to watch so many angles, but... Audio call goes out. Cav, once again, huge aggression from him to prove it. Mooch grabs another, and 3v1, Blackbird left, should be over if you can just play your trade outs. 3v2, excuse me, Cells is still below, but gotta get in a position where he isn't below here. Gotta see some frontline aggression. Again, not really any, I think each side is just trying to find something for free, but I don't think anyone's gonna give it. We're not gonna see Voltage give away a pick, and Cells, in fact, finds one in the corner. He didn't know. Good C4. Flashing the wrong man. Apparently flashing himself as well. You're trying to look for 12 angles. It won't happen. Mooch finishes, and I think the whole issue was, even if you didn't flash yourself, you're flashing me with a shotgun. You're gonna swing into him, and you're gonna get damaged. YN tie it back up here. I think when we get into these later rounds, these later parts of it, we're really going to see which team is better. And can they hold these longer times? It's so much harder to handle when you have, 15 minutes between, 15 minutes of break time, all in all. Or you get into a point like where we could approach if map 3, map 4, where you've been playing for hours upon hours on end, you just get mentally tired. And that's where it's really going to be a test of the outcome. When you get to that point where you're already mentally done and you're just like checked out, who's going to really be better there? Generally, my money would go towards Voltage. Pickles has the experience, he has the ability to lead his team, but YN, if they can keep up the aggression and win either of the next 2 maps, they might not need that final map to really you know, give themselves a hard time. If they can just get some momentum here early on, it's really just down to what can we see from Voltage. Momentum and how it's going to swing is going to be really how it plays. 'Cause these teams are still relatively new to these BO5 formats. Most aren't super good at it. Yes, you have a couple players, but that isn't enough. You see with Pickles, he's performing better in these later rounds. I think we're going to keep seeing that the longer it goes on. You can see YN finish early, and now it's obviously going to benefit them. Have when it's aggressive spawn peek, not going to find anything really here if he jumps out. Body already in sight. Voltage going for an aggression, and the direct take here might be the play. There isn't really any know-how besides Mooch knowing he heard the calls and the pings, and he's hearing bodies. You gotta be careful here. Damage. Gab grabs one. C4 gonna go out. Plant goes down to 5v2. Beautiful play from YN. Gets one above, but he's essentially gonna have to be perfection here. Eventually his kill's gonna go out. YN 3-0, or 3-2, excuse me. Much better 2 rounds, and direct take goes awry here. Really a hard start. I think a bit of a momentum shock for the side of Voltage. Certainly interested though if we can see a bit of a comeback after what looked like a really bad round for Voltage mentally. You went for an off play, and not only did you get that play down, the second you did, they predicted. They were fast to just respond, and your entirety of your playing kind of just got wiped out. Which honestly makes it worse in my opinion, because you feel like you're ever so close. You could have had it, but you didn't. Instead, we're going to just kind of see, you know, just a bit of a slowdown, I think, for Voltage. And YN, once again, we see this momentum just shifting in 2-3 round bursts here. And it might work for these earlier rounds where you can go 4-2, you know, 5-4. But the second you get into the late rounds, 2 round swaps and 2 round momentum changes are hugely hard to deal with. It worries you a lot as an IGL and as a player, and I think that's where we're going to see timeouts, if any, this game. If we see this happen, where we see it go 5-2 here, or we see, you know, a flawless 2 rounds in a row from Voltage or YN, really going to start to see any real, like, dominance is where we're going to see the timeout. If there is any, and if they do show, it's really just how much. How can they prove themselves, you know, with that timeout? Cap going for a hard reach trick, not placing fast enough on it. It didn't get off, and perfect timing for him. He gets the second one, but there's still an angle there, and that's a dangerous thing to deal with. Blackbeard, he sees it with the Mira, and the problem is if you can't clear this electrical Mira, it's really dangerous because you can't do anything really. You get this open, but what are you going to move into? You're being held on both sides. Kill from behind, Matrix down, and not a great start for the side of YN so far. Cavs upstairs. I don't think he's entirely sure. Gets one that's super necessary here. Got to get another one on the vert here if you want to get something possibly winnable. Killing a Blackbeard would be monumental, but it's not going to be given. 2v3, good trade out. The Madman to stay upstairs. Mooch saving his team here. It looked like an awful situation, and he just kind of kept playing this aggressive angle down to 1 man above. And I think that's the big issue, though, is you're down to very little left, really. Because in these 1v2s, it gets so much harder. Because, yes, that 1-player advantage, but it's double the players. It's not just like, it's not a 4v3 where you can, if you get a good trade, it's possible. All they have to do is just play Ring Around the Rosie around you. You're 1 man. They can just orbit around you and kind of just make sure you never really see them. You're going to have to see aggression from him. You're going to have to see aggression to fight Pickles, fight the superstar. The kill is extremely necessary here, but if he can hop out, it might be worth nothing. You have to do something here, really stop it, because come something like this, and a post plant, it feels impossible to stop the second you go to these wings. Good play by him in terms of spacing, won't matter. Watchful finds it, and Voltage back to 3-3. So far, both teams neck and neck, swapping rounds. Even half, and not really, I think, what YN wanted after such a dominant first map. Starting to see the team and Pickles and Cells really fall back into their own, and the players of support and Hard Breach, you know, still put in some more value than I think last time, and we're seeing that culminate in a 3-3 half instead. You see the Black Grid go off. Matrix looked insane on it. There is no real surprise there. He got an ace. He would be dropping doubles, triples. It was essentially an insta-banning. You're going to see it. They're terrified of his shield play. They're terrified of him on that shield. And yet again, we're still going to see a shield. Maybe not by the same player as Matrix opts to play something else, but I say that, and once again, this man is essentially the, like, serial killer at this point. They're terrified of him. He's like a campfire story. He's the legend. Matrix on a shield, and
Defenders, protect your bombs.
Sadly, you're going to have to take quite a bit if you want to get them all away, and it'll be a big problem, because now you're going to have the ace. You're going to have any operator you really want open besides their shields. And even then, you're still going to have one option open. You're going to give him the Blackbeard. And I think it's a little bit futile, because if you can't afford to waste all of your bans on shields here. You need to be able to ban something like more. But instead, you're going to waste all of them on that shield. And you're essentially going to force yourself to have to deal with the harder ops that you normally can ban away. You're going to have to deal with a lot of hard breach, deal with still a shield, and just a lot that has to be done. And it's not like we're seeing, you know, YN lose a huge amount of ops here. And I think that this really more affects Voltage, because they didn't ban away those really need-to-ban operators other than Blackbeard. Blitz wasn't a need-to-ban. Yet they do it, and now you're going to have to essentially play, you know, with the best operators gone from your arsenal, but they still have theirs. You see with that ace, you can afford to waste a little bit of utility there, because one ace charge is still a good chunk of the wall. It's big for sites like this, unless you catch him out early. Matrix still is going to be dangerous to play with. Yeah, I think it's certainly the even half is a little bit more benefiting to Voltage here. Getting that 3-3 on the defensive side is better, as we generally see on console, from what I observe, just a little bit less than a 62% win rate on the defense. So a little bit more, but it ranges from map to map, and even then, it depends on the team. You'll see some teams that are much better, some teams that are much worse. Frags ties it back up, losing Cells, your star player, down to just the superstar Pickles on the roam, and being droned out is the bigger issue. Good cutoff here, can maybe catch him. Beautiful play from Mooch, and you're seeing both your star entries go down. The roam pretty fastly quelled, and an aggressive play from him. Body gets one, but
Attackers have
opts to
located a
take what
bomb.
he had and just run away. No real reason to challenge for more. Mooch holding this, you know, this sight line here to try to stop any holding for the Monty and give him as much space as he can to come in and plant. And it's gonna work.
Attackers bomb diffuser has
Apparently
been
not,
dropped.
though. Verticality was the wild card, and I don't think YN really expected that. You're gonna have limited time. You know that player is on Vert, and he doesn't know the second one. God, he might get a freebie. Bit of a miss, but should be a free round here for Voltage. Good plays, good trades, and we kind of just see that easily go, it feels like. A hop in here would essentially be a death sentence. They can shoot you from below, they can shoot you from above, they have cross angles on you. wherever you try to come in, they're going to be watching. He knows it. He can't really hop in anywhere. He just kind of tries to just find something, but they're not going to give him anything.
15 seconds remaining.
10 seconds should be over, and a kill from Mooch is definitely, I think, what he wants, but it's no more than a stat pad. Voltage, take another. It's getting these weird 2-2 swings we're seeing. We're just, they take these two best sites for them, and then they lose that third, and it swaps. A very questionable, really, style, and it feels like neither team can really secure that advantage they want. And it shows that on the stat board. The entries are very even. The trade differentials are very even. You have to find one team has to find something to really take over and hold. Neither team has had a dominant play on the roam, in sight, in these clutches. It's kind of just been one-off plays, and you really need to look for something if you're YN here. Because if you're giving Voltage that even half, make it to go on the easier side, it's going to be hard, because we know Voltage as a defensive team. Nighthaven is one of their best maps statistically. There's a reason that when they get on the defensive side, their win rate skyrockets more than almost any other team. I think a top 5 defensive win rate in terms of FSL teams, which is generally good performance and statistic. Where you see those top teams, T1, for some of you that do not know, they're approaching a almost 70% win rate on the defense here for Nighthaven. Taking them here is awful, and when they get to pick defense first, I have it at, Jesus, that's 85% win rate. So just be glad you didn't have to take them on the defense first, but even half might not be enough, because once again, it feels like you're starting almost a 0-0, and Voltage gets to come to their best place. However, if you lose this, you shouldn't be too worried. You have a better second half time before you. Just taking notes here, trying to keep track of teams. Gotti didn't trick the wall here, and we have to see some below hit, because otherwise that's going to be the big issue. A bit early, Gotti gets him, and the wall's going to be impossible to grab. You've wasted your utility, and it wasn't enough, and now you're going to have to try to go for the aggressive play if you want to get the wall. You're going to have to try to do something, risky. Voltage looked like an entirely different team. Gotti getting 2 kills from below. You lose the wall, but you waste almost a minute 30 and almost full advantage for the side of YN. Now they're in comeback mode. This is no longer trade out. Frags grabs 1, brings it a little closer, but still. If Gotti can keep popping off, we can just see these players sitting electrical. It's going to be hard for Cells and Gotti to lose this, honestly. They've been given a golden ticket of how to win. Just comes down to being smart. The aggression warranted. Stop though. 1v3 and bodies fall out. Trades go out and Pickles finishes, and we're just seeing a different team here on the side of the defense on Nighthaven. There's a reason they picked this map. Because the second they get on defense, you're gonna have a hard time, and it's gonna be one of your hardest things to win. However, what you gotta remember with YN is even if they struggle in this defense here, they still have maps to go. They have 2 more maps they can win. They still have Chalet, which is a top map for them, but also a top map for Voltage here, and same with Clubhouse. So no real advantage. Statistically, we saw YN have a little bit of playtime on it compared to other teams, but they do have almost 100% win rate on that border. That isn't the same. Nighthaven Labs, Chalet, and Clubhouse are some of the top pick maps, and you know how the team is going to play. You know, you've seen them play, you've probably played against them. You know their style, you know how this IGL plays. It's going to come down to who has better fundamentals and further move on. I think the issue is that's going to further the side of Voltage more and more. Pickles is a star entry. He has been. You're seeing him get warm here, and I think you're making it worse. Watchful and Cells make a bit of a blunder here, losing an Echo Drone. A site that's pretty important to have an Echo Drone.
10 seconds left.
Obviously for the intel and plant denial, but it's huge, huge loss early. You really just gotta watch out for Pickles and Cells here. If they can get these early picks, it's so hard to get them back because they're smart enough and they play that entry well enough to know back off when they need, and generally you're gonna see that. We do see the garage wall go early, but the problem is you still have a lot to clear. It's not like it was a free one. Getting this wall to start, but if we don't see a play onto IT, it doesn't look likely that they could really hold that verticality, and nobody's below yet. If they try to go for this wall raw, it's not going to work. You can't do it, and I think they're starting to realize that. It happened once, it's probably going to happen twice. You had a double loss. Really don't want to try to challenge them in this angle on these harder to stop spots. A lot of utility being wasted. Cavs down. Watchful grabs it. The hard support here grabs another and tries to not use the wall. However, aggression from him could buy just a little bit more to work with. Losing the wall and getting a pick in return would certainly be a great trade, but Yaps just fall off here and not risk it. Despite what could have been. Both sides are kind of just looking for just a little something. Pickle's in a great position here to cause chaos. And holding this top floor, unless he's spotted and makes a bad move. Should hear the sound call. He hears it, you hear that crouching, and dangerous thing to play against. Despite that, a trade goes out and still it stays even. Trades go out middle of that fight, and stabilizing this 3v3 benefits the side of Voltage. They still have Cells left, they still have some of their best players. Matrix is left, but he hasn't been able to put up the numbers without those shields apparently. Mooch, you got bodies awry. The C4 used early means they can't stop the plant. And you're gonna fit the post lane here, it's a 2v1 though. Aggression might stop it. One man. A whiff from both sides. But as you run away, Matrix has a great positioning and great plan. You're going to have to see him play aggressive here. You can't see Cells really try to play past him and check all those angles. A Legion mine tossed out of all things. It's really just going to be a battle of who can hold the range. Matrix does it better, runs away, and huge round there to stave away that match point from Voltage and try to move towards a 3-0. Final bans go out, and I don't think it'd be a shield at this point. There wasn't really enough dominance there. Once again, we're just kind of seeing both of the supports and flexes here aren't really holding themselves together. This game is being held by the entries, and it feels like that's the ones that are doing it all. So far, though, I will say Cells is arguably the MVP, in my opinion, of the entire server. Obviously, Matrix is not too far behind, but that was much more just because of a beautiful performance from him. Not so much an amazing performance for the side of, you know, this map. Great map 1, and he's been struggling a little more hopping into the second for YN, but still have a lot of time here, and you're still up 2 maps in terms of numbers, and that's a lot of stuff to make up for the side of Voltage. They already had an amazing lower bracket run, so we've seen them been able to hold these long, what feels like impossible comebacks. It's certainly a little bit different when you're in the, you know, finals. We've seen Gotti is a entirely rookie to these games. That go longer, they test your mental and test your IGLing, and we haven't seen that he's ready for that, and I don't think a lot of the players here are. you're sort of seeing that as the stats get even more and more extreme. Drop obviously a hard support, but he still had a 0.9 or around a 0.97 before this. He needs to do more, and you're seeing it where they just aren't using this long format. The longer we go on, the more I think we're going to see players like Pickles, players like Cells, who have adapted amazing so far to the playoffs. He's actually improved, to be entirely fair, and by quite a large amount. He went from good entry fragger to one of the best, just behind his teammate Pickles, who before this was dominating all of it. And a bit of a slow performance from him, at least not certainly what you'd expect. Bodies extend, and you're starting to see the main place be something they haven't even looked at yet. Wall's gonna go out, but they might not hear it at all. They have Cells essentially holding it by himself. Bit of a dangerous task as a team. Waiting for it. Cells can just grab bodies from above, and this play is essentially, there's no real way to stop it. The Warden, you have to send a player on the vert, but I don't think they even know yet. Pickles grabs another, and certainly getting worse in my opinion. You can't really get that player. You whiffed, but all he has to do is above. He doesn't even know yet. Sends is the Warden at the gates here. Most would argue it would be Hannibal in this situation, but who needs an axe when you have a shotgun? Down to a 2v4 here. Players are grouped up for YN, but you have to try to essentially take a point of extreme disadvantage. Taking the fight here is nearly impossible because you're trying to play a hard angle to fight no matter what. Well, there's still multiple other people watching. This isn't like it's a 1v2. There's people in other angles, on the doors, and it gives you so little to work with. But now we see Pickles above too. There's just so little they can control. Kill comes from Exo. Smart play to sort of just try to ignore the Warden. Maybe gonna force him off of his position. Cells grabs another though. Really down to can he find Pickles here? Pickles knows apparently, and just a bit of a swing battle. Who can really bait it better? Who can bait their sound? However, this extreme passiveness from the side of Voltage might get him the match point here. Kind of just sit here, wait it out. They know he has to swing down, not the other way around. If he wants to, he's gonna have to hop in. Amidst the 1v1, Goyo kills him because he moves and vaults in at the wrong spot. He vaulted in at the wrong little animation point. There's grids, and he didn't look far enough to the left, and a round that could have been instead Voltage match point. I mean, as Wine, you really got to see we got to see more from them. It just hasn't been the same since that first map. Since this first little bit, it feels like it's just kind of slowed down, and starting to see Voltage engulf them almost. It feels, and entries, and trades, and you got to find something here. A bit of a slowdown now. I think that we haven't seen the same aggression from YN. Even when they do show it, it's not really, I guess, in the right way. Like, you'll see all 5 bodies unload downstairs. You have nothing for the vert if they have it. You'll see these aggressive plays into walls, but they don't have it fully planned out. And the planning and like, they have the right mind, the right start of an idea, but they're not doing the specifics well enough. You're not holding your off angles. You're not holding that verticality. You're not accounting for players being a little more aggressive. And coming into that, it makes it be really hard. Putting yourself in is essentially a disadvantage. Where you're going to play into Voltage here, who have looked better. You know, we've seen them, and they've been able to hold the down below angles. We've seen them been able to stop these aggressions. Wall is going to stay safe, and once again, another issue. They can't seem to get the walls fast enough. They're ashing when they shouldn't. They should be ashing and wasting the charge early, but Mr. Pickles grabs it. It's going to force this wall to stay closed because of a good play and jump out. Now you're down to player at match point. Aggression. Shots missed from both sides. You hit defrags later, but not the play you want. Now you said you have to watch 3 different angles there. Botch C4 goes out. Goyo gonna slow it down. Cells and Pickles looked like the Batman and Robin duo. The truly insane way to play it. And you're seeing such dominance of them on the entry. They're 4-0. They have plus 19 trade differential. Cells goes down. Your Robin goes down, but Batman can operate alone. Might be able to see it here if we get a luckiness, but maybe Drop has the plan on him. Knows the memo. Everyone's just kind of slowing down here. Gotti grabs the down, but he's struggling to get that finish kill. 3, everyone goes out. Jeez. Bit of a fast trade. Match point 1v4. Ease to pixel the body, but swinging here might be a bad play. Mooch hoping to just find a gap. He's got to show aggression. He's got to really put in a crazy amount of work here. I'm not going to give it to him for free. If he's going to win this, and he's essentially got to play off of a risky play. He can't let himself get droned. He's got to hop in here with no sound, and he has to just pray that they don't see and that he can do it right. He's got to slow walk in. But the sprinting here might throw him. All it takes is one good here, one good sound call, and this shot from him means they can't grab the kill. Hike grabs it, and Voltage taking away that map 2, staving away a 3-0 and starting 2-0 here, transition for what should be 4 minutes. This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team, CC. One of the most OG league teams to this day. And, yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'd be.
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
My
any
favorite moment?
Before this fucking
Honestly, bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like, I started around like season 2 around there, and I kind of just played it for fun. And I never really, like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met CryptoCal, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides
more.
to talk to people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll say Stargazer, because he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like. He'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's a very
He's
so
happy-go-lucky
chill.
kind of guy.
Yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So, I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so, like, just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Mike.
your accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but you know, just can't damn do that apparently. But
What, so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but honestly, I would just say like our biggest accomplishment is hitting I think 10 league wins like within our team. Like we
Yeah.
hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys
So-
have been together for, what, a year or so
I think
now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main five has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Not
impressive.
planning to go anywhere either. Yet at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name, streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right. I need to win a Sunday.
Sunday's what you
Seriously.
shoot for?
If I don't win a Sunday.
As we come back from the break, just a little bit of technical issues. Ubisoft has been awful, so bear with us. That isn't the start I wanted. Oh, good lord. Apparently, I also enjoy hot making everyone, because that definitely stops issues. Honestly, not really what I expected. However, it looks like it may be a little bit longer of a tech pause than I hoped. I'll probably do a timer one because apparently the issues have been rampant. The crap talking and vulgar language has been pretty rampant. We are not going to do a rehost here. We're just going to hopefully go to a tech pause. Should be a little bit less than 2 minutes. Should be back quite soon. as we have quite a few of connection issues, we're gonna have to go for a full rehost. Hopefully back before the end of it, but shouldn't be less than 5 minutes. This is gonna be week 2 of Counting Cards, and we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team. CC, one of the most OG league teams to this day. And yeah, top 50 champion. You know how it'll be.
You know how it'd be, I guess. Nah, what is your favorite moment so far from Siege, you'd say? If we're going
My
any
favorite
moment.
moment,
Before this fucking
honestly, bro,
update,
it's probably meeting my team that I'm now with, bro. Like, genuinely, I always played Siege, like, you know, for fun back in like 1.0. Like, I started around like season 2 around there, and I kind of just played it for fun. And I never really, like, you know, had like a really strive or passion to want to play it. And then I met CryptoCal, which you would know him by.
Yep.
And yeah, from there we just kind of like formed like this cool team that just started playing Siege tourneys, and it like showed me a new side to Siege, bro. And it was like, honestly, it's pretty fun. So
Okay.
that's probably my favorite moment in Siege right now. Is
Me?
just like the comp scene. I really enjoy it.
Okay, let's go a little bit
Besides the
more.
toxic people.
Who's your favorite player over all of your comp Siege time? Favorite teammate? Yes, you're gonna have to.
Favorite teammate?
Yep.
Okay. Honestly, trying to think. Are we going off of like? Actually, you know what? I'll just say. I'll say Stargazer, because he's like honestly the nicest human being you'll ever meet. Like, no joke. Like, you can yell at him, be mean to him, no matter what you'll say, he'll still like. He'll just be a humble guy. Like, he will never argue with you. Like, I don't know. He's just
a very
he's so
happy-go-lucky
chill.
kind of
And
guy.
yes, he's literally the happy-go-lucky guy, bro. So I'd say, yeah, probably Stargazer.
Okay, that's understandable. He's relatively well liked by what feels like everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I could see why. He's so like just chill.
Okay, let's go to
Like
your
him.
accomplishments. What is your favorite accomplishment as a player?
I would like to say winning a Scissors League, but you know, just can't damn do that apparently. But
What's so Black
honestly,
Ice?
yeah, Black Ice I definitely think is up there, but honestly, I would just say like our biggest accomplishment is hitting, I think, 10 league wins like within our team. Like, we hit the last league we just won. That was our 10th league win as a team, which is, I'm pretty sure it's like some of the most that any team has ever gotten.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have been together for what, a year or so now,
like
minimum?
I think almost 2 years now.
Yeah, you guys are one of the most long-term rosters we've seen in a while. There hasn't been that many changes. There's been a couple of changes in the subs, but that main 5 has stayed for quite a long time.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty impressive.
Not planning to go anywhere either, yet at least.
What's next for you? You know, you've done relatively well in the comp scene. You're well known. What do you want to go to next? Do you want to try to keep up competitive? Do you want to go to tournaments and try to make a name streaming?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not backing down until I win a fucking Sunday. All right, I need to win a Sunday.
We're back. It took forever. It took bodies being lost. The mental sanity of my oh so amazing mod, Grace, Gulia. And I'm pretty sure everyone's not really alive. It took a while, but we're here. Finally, these bands can come out. It took forever, but we're here. We got there barely, but you know. Better late than never. Blackbeard, Mira, you expect it? You know what's gonna happen. God, I'm excited to actually cast something now. I can't even put ad breaks because I feel like an awful person. Yeah, then I'd be farming ad revenue off of servers, so I've just sat here and done nothing. Any ad breaks have been the minimum. I've just done absolutely zero. We're finally back after what feels like a decade, and we can talk and commentate a game, folks. Izami, Blitz, you know what you're gonna see. You're not surprised, honestly, when it happens. Yeah, that's just how it is, man. But we get to see a round of Siege, guys. It's real. Siege is real. This is my equivalent to the One Piece is real. There is an actual existence of this game. It's real. Like, we've been in the trenches, folks. Trenches of rehosting. I think we're at like 30 or so rehosts before we got one that worked.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
You can see the same Goyo Nichols. This man is addicted to the operator. Most would say it is an addiction, but to him it is his only way of actually pretty good KD on it almost. But apparently it's a KD of baiting because his actual win rate is not that good. Farm them stats, I guess, just don't expect to win. Whoa. Drone shot.
10 seconds left.
Got the drone shot here. I mean, the big issue is really just how fast can they start clearing this library side, because this is miserable to clear as a player and as a team. You have to slog through utility after utility after utility, and there's so much. If you're gonna push library side, you have to deal with some of the most miserable things on the planet. Probably waste a good amount of what you have. Map 3 live now. There's like an hour and 10-minute gap in between each one. Or at least in between these two because of how bad the rehosts were. Yikes. We're back. You can see Matrix already getting that map space pretty fast here. Cav gets first kill on Nook. Lurking Warrior gets the DP shield too. Great plays to get rid of utility. Fast, efficient, doing the job better than most. Great start. Better question is, can we see a lurk from the other side possibly? You already got one lurk, one kill or entry. A K-Trick could go out if he doesn't double it. He wastes both and ace radius and destroys the game. Big goal yet. Kane holds himself in K9. This half wall here is essentially a safety. He is being pinched from K9, pinched from that main wall, and he's kind of just stuck himself in a very unwinnable position. He's the equivalent of Captain America holding that helicopter to its helipad, Civil, or in the Winter Soldier. He's trying to hold it all together. Hike grabs it one off the frosty power kill. Immediately traded down, but not out yet. Problem is, it's going to be very hard to get that up. So you either have to hop in, outside smart, drop grabs another. Drag's going out, he hopped into the Goyo, but the prone hit his feet. That's down to a 2v2. Both players grouped up. Main wall, down below is your big plays. And no C4, you're gonna have to get a beautiful dodge. He knew it was coming and literally juked out. And now you have a player going below here. A cat and mouse as you have a dual floor play really. Cat trying to do something, gets the kill, it's a 2v1. Now they can just afford to go plant somewhere else, make it hard. Cells put himself in a very hard position to deal with. pressure he's gonna have to fight, and he has to go through this main wall. There's nowhere else to go for him. Options limited. Cav, YN drop, trying to hop out. Failure to hop out. I don't know if it's a glitch or he doesn't want to repel out, but suddenly a little closer, and this aggressive angle might work. The holding, the repel that he could not hit, finally comes to an end. Yes. To that one comment. There. Also, if y'all ever get any ads during the actual game, do tell me, because I have it set to like the minimum ads, and then I just try to run ads during those pause breaks, because you're already not doing all that much during them. Feels like the best way to do it. No need to overload 22 minutes or like the crazy amount of people with ads. I can run 3 minutes and then maybe, you know, 6 minutes or 7 minutes max.
Defenders,
Comes out to be not all too much. At least I try not to make it so. Pre-rolls, not a big fan, honestly. Bit of a hot take.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But with all of these, I guess, areas you're going to have to hold, you have to be very careful about what you want to take, because everything wastes time here. This upstairs is a game of time. It's a game of time and a game of control, and taking this upstairs space as fast as you can and where your time is from. If they're smart, you're going to have to waste utility, possibly even a minute 45, 2 minutes to get full control of upstairs and get ready for the execute. Or you can try to go direct, try to ignore it. It's not as common, but it does allow for more flexibility in terms of what you can do. You do have to worry about the physicality, but you have all that more time to play around with. You really got to balance. Do you want you know, to have extra time for that execute, or do you want to balance the safe way? You'll get there, but you're just playing the race against the clock. It's a dangerous way to do it. Why did it do that? Down to a relatively sparingly held roam, honestly. You have Pickles on the far and better, I'm assuming is what he wants to be called, playing close library here, but not really all the players you'd expect. And I think if you can get a lurk here, spot it out, so no dice, but 2 free drones is certainly a good positive instead. These players are not going to question, they're going to waste time trying to maybe drone, find something, and really just waste all the utility they want. And Cav grabs another on this lurk. Apparently this Nook is the success for entries. So far it's been almost perfect. Pickles deciding to sit in the corner here. Trust his gut, trust his ability, and just say, I don't think they're going to drone this. I think I got this one. It's a dangerous strategy, but if you pull it off, you can get a pick, and those early ones are some of the best things you can ask for. You got spotted. Playing a jiggle fight at this point. One of the worst things you can do against Pickles, and giving him these situations where he's backed into a corner and he has to fight, is a hard thing to do with one of the better shooters in the entirety of the league. Spotted up in the window. Good cross held, even if unintentional here. Gotti playing the trick of it. He can't get away in time. Barely. Nook being pressured. Clash has to run away. Lottie totally spent. She goes down below. Still alive though. Cav drop left. Cav grabbed 2 on the round so far. This lurk operator and the FMG9 have just been so powerful in getting these picks when they need them, and you're gonna stabilize with this 2v2. And the bigger thing you need to worry about is, can you get these? Can you deal with this Clash? She's gonna be your major issue. There's not a C4 in the hand of cells anymore. It's all down to, can you just handle the fact that this Clash is gonna take time to clear, or you can try to ignore her and go through the hatch, and even risk your strategy, but you could have a big reward if you can actually pull it off, or if cells misses. A window play might be a little more safe though. Allow for a little more flexibility, and the better play overall. Shotgun shots might get him to look. Not at all. Very set on that hatch angle, and
15 seconds
it's
left.
really just dependent on the time here. Countdown is gonna be the big issue. The clock is gonna drain. You gotta be perfect. He runs in, goes to the aggressive spot. Taken out from behind. 1v2. Voltage playing the time, playing the numbers, and that Clash, once again, really proving why she's an issue. You have to be so wary of her. Unless it's a 1v1, it's nearly impossible to really clear her out with true safety. gonna see it tied back up. However, these entry kills from Nook, I think, are gonna be the biggest thing we're gonna see. If you can keep seeing these kills early on and giving a huge early advantage, and there's no real, so far it looks like there's been no real penalty. You still have most of your utility after the Nook does that job, and maybe not the common op, but just lurking around the cams here, sort of giving themselves a little bit more wariness now. They can't trust their cameras. They can't trust everything they see. It's just going to be huge for them as a team. Certainly not played anywhere near as much as before her silence death, but not being able to be fully seen on cameras, it's brought up her pick rate a little bit. Being able to go fully invisible and stand still and just hold the lurk angle is... It's not certainly common, but it allows for some niche strats and some interesting plays with flank watch. I certainly wouldn't do it, but up to the player. Rehost might be necessary. However, if one knows anything, I'm going to get out the round and we're already having. I think that's going to be the intention, is to just play it out with how many rehosts we've been at team. We've had to rehost a custom lobby almost 35 times now, if I'm not mistaken. We're probably around 32, 33. And they'd rather just take the risky round instead of trying to deal with, you know, have to reset and go for it again. Better grabs a big pick. A down is important, but the confirm does finally come out. And maybe a little bit late for it to happen, but still really getting what you needed. You need to keep it close because you need to try to find that even out here. You can find an evening of an advantage. This round a lot more strength. Losing Drop isn't a crazy loss. He's been struggling a lot, but I still think it's just really a play that you really still got to be worried about. Frags grabbing a huge pick there to stabilize it. A one-man advantage is no longer there. Warden playing aggressive and kind of just sitting there doing nothing. Force him to minimum rethink and play back a little more. Matrix having to watch a lot of angles. See constant go-yo. Drop comes back. Time for the next round. Camps get calm. Watchful is in a bad position. He might not know that the entirety of the bottom floor is taken. All it takes is a little bit of good droning and he might be caught out here. The dangerous thing. Doesn't see the wall yet. Doesn't see it. Batteries. Yeah, I'm assuming he just hasn't really looked there. Looking at every single angle. Dangerous thing, and we see him drop down, and YN has the advantage despite starting one man down. Frags taking out trades. Get close. Maybe not a bad play though, trying to possibly use the EMP to see if they can get the Warden or the Clash here. Got a little bit of utility. Cells upstairs, unknown, and that's going to be the big issue, I think, is they don't know yet. Ping's going out, and he's just baiting it. Waiting for Cells to sort of come into position there. But he apparently knows someone's up here. Stuck himself in a corner. Aggressive plays might be punished. Gotti finishes 1v2. He's going for the plant. The Madman. Problem is now you're gonna have to try to play this down layers. And you can hold the vert on you. You have to be so careful here. A whiff. He gets it though. Gotti has to play this perfect. He's low. He doesn't have a lot of time, and these flashes are really going to limit what he can do. Great play from Mooch and playing behind that bomb chassis, giving him a little bit of cover to work with. Pulls out a 2v1. Getting a huge round there, despite going down a man. Giving yourself that, you know, that big 2-1 in that 3-site rotation. It's as good as you could ask for. You're getting that round. The first round loss you had didn't stop you. Momentum isn't going in the direction of Voltage, and if you can keep that up, that's what you really want to try to do here. If you're going to lose a round, make it close. You can't give them a round where they go flawless or top players. You see Nook off the board. There's a reason so many entry frags so far. It's consistent, and it's terrifying to deal with going down that one man. No real surprise. Sometimes the stat ban is worth it. Clash, strong as ever. It's really no one's really surprised, honestly. No shield play so far. Could be possibly likely with the now gone Clash, but still. Doubts seep in.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
So there will be one of the longer ones that we got. Maybe go to the map 4.
Attackers have discovered the location
Yeah, map
of a
3
bomb.
here. We could still go all the way, and that would be one hell of a game. Both teams want this really badly, and that's what makes it much worse in my opinion. We see YN. This is going to be their last farewell tour. They're trying to win out, win something before, you know, it all happens. It's been publicly talked about by players, so I'm fine with saying
5 seconds
Voltage,
to go.
they want to come out and go on the Wild Boys. They want to become a Wild Boys team, and this would have been, this is their big one. If they can beat YN, which is already a pretty respective team, who's trying to win for their last in a championship run, that'd be a almost guaranteed spot. That's what makes it better is both teams are playing like everything is online because it is for them. Their big achievement of trying to get on the Wild Boys from Voltage. Apparently Gotti wanted to do that a while back. OOG was what he had to do, and both teams are fighting for the chance to kind of finally control, you know, their own fate and either end on a high note or get themselves starting even better for a new chapter. But who wins here? The older team, the retiring one, the championship run ready, and Voltage, who the team that's gotten close but never won at all. And kind of trying to make their audition here. Compare if they can come back from a 2-map deficit on a BO5, that would definitely be certainly getting yourself in there. There's been very, very few people that have ever been able to do that sort of thing. Breakable camera. Won't matter, you can still crack it, but a little bit surprising. Double Cage, just make sure he doesn't get the trick, and ball goes out. Better gonna be the big player on this piano DP shield. Gonna have to send some utility over here, whether it's a nade, an ash charge. We see from frags, something has to come, and you gotta be very careful about it. Both balls above and below, and big issue is this is still a really good time for the side of YN, as Voltage is losing numbers. They're losing that first entry on Cap again. Apparently this man he wasn't even supposed to be the entry. I don't know how he's just popping off today, I guess. Cav is, at least from my knowledge, was playing the flex or soft support role, but so far they've seemed to say, you're doing amazing, we'll swap you over, and it's been paying dividends, that investment in that player. Trust him.
Attackers have dropped the bomb.
Mooch goes down, Cells grabs it. Superstar of this game taken out by Matrix. Gotti grabs drop, and we stabilize in this 3v3 again. Teams are getting, the later we've gone on, everyone's gotten much better at getting these trade outs. Cab grabs another Madman on the game so far, but we just see another body go. No real team can get the advantage. Everyone's getting damaged, they're getting, you know, close to kills, but no one can finally catch that advantage they want until the very end. Every round win is close. Cav with a triple, could be a quad. Time closing in though. Diffuser in a risky situation spot-wise. If Pickles goes for a good swing here, he could stop the plan. All he has to do is delay the time, don't swing. A 1v1, it's over. All he has to do is get there in time, know where it is. He might be off. Voltage with a huge round there. Tie it back up, stop any type of big advantage, and we're just seeing no real round feel safe on either side. We're ending in these 1v2s, 1v3s, and we're still seeing clutches up. We're still seeing teams get it close, and it really just makes everyone a thriller. YN with their first timeout. I think they saw that last round. They want to stop any momentum here. They want to get that 3-1. They don't want to have to try to take this to final map here in Clubhouse, because YN have been amazing in these map 3s and in these late overtime situations. And giving them something like infinite overtime might be even worse. That would be a heater. Despite the long amount of times we've had pauses. Timeout finally. YN, they really want to regroup as a team and I respect that. Hopefully, for the next couple of grand finals, I'm going to have them go in a Discord, and then we will have them entirely. I can mic check in, which that would be awesome. Middle of timeouts from the team that took it, mic checks. That'd be nutty. Especially from some of the more popular IGLs here. And you still have delays, so it's not a big issue, but that would be awesome. Until then, all the major storylines have kind of been covered. We've seen how Gotti has struggled a lot, and he's certainly seeming to take that second stride. He's gotten used to the BO5 after that long break in between. It feels like there's a lot of endurance that already was wasted, and just the map 3
to locate and defuse
out
bombs.
of the 4-map series, because you're already had almost an hour wasted of attack timeouts and that overtime, and what essentially felt like a game that would have been, what, 15 rounds each side, and you just had to do it there sitting there. You couldn't play a game because you were trying to get into one. So everyone is feeling this weird, I guess, different play, because everyone's technical. And that's different, and that makes a lot of teams, you know, certainly weaker, but we're seeing both teams show up amazingly here so far. Yet your hard sport's still struggling, but Cav taking that extreme role after a little bit of a soft game, showing out. Don't count out Matrix yet, though. We've seen him obviously swap roles with Cav for that more support-oriented style, just because he's not feeling right. But if you can see him get in the zone, you can sort of lock in for these later rounds. He's a dangerous player, even on the stuff like Thermite, on these more support-oriented ops. Because after that wall goes out, that man is a dangerous person. Yeah, I mean, both really want to end this on a chapter here, because YN, if they can get it here, not looking likely for this round. Early entry for Pickles. Takes damage, but obviously much better to have that body. But you'll see YN want to win. They want to end this on a good note. They can see, hey, we're all going to split up. Some of the players are probably going to retire. Some are going to different teams, and this would essentially be their big audition tape, is how do you play in these long-term situations, in these situations where it gets really hard to just stay focused. Cav have kind of shown out. Matrix on that shield had to be essentially permabanned away, I think, at this point. While going out, not really any surprise there. It's just how fast can we see this DP shield be cleared? You're going to need to waste an Ash charge or something on it, because leaving it alone is a dangerous prospect. Possibly swing coming out. Well, my great shot. Cells gets a beautiful C4 from below. Been dominant on those. A double. Cells have just had a free kill on Cav there. I think the aggression, the ego kind of got to him. Mooch grabs one, brings it a little closer. YN down players, and not a lot of utility really on the board for them to use. Catches Gotti on the Frost, and bit of a comeback. It looked really bad, and we've seen them play their trades right, play their positioning right, and get just a few step by step, and just trying to move it, you know, every 15 seconds is like a new chapter almost. You can kind of see Pickles, his team mentioning they have the Goyos, they can just try to wait out the clock here. However, you gotta be careful, because you don't know if they'll have enough time for that. Frag's probably gonna hop in one of the windows here. Whichever one he picks, gonna be hard. Frag's hopping in the secondary one here, trying to take over Mudroom. Final foot shot. Great kill from him. You need to clear out, if you can clear out watch for cells here, you need to find something. Time is gonna close in. You gotta go for something. Cells grabs a triple on the round. 6 seconds left. You essentially gotta hop in and pray for 2 doubles. There's 2 freebies. It's not gonna happen. They're not gonna swing, and big round for Voltage there. Because the bigger thing, though, is we saw them go on that timeout from White. That time was supposed to let them reset, regroup, but instead, Voltage came back strong. They came back as good as they needed, and they proved that that timeout, if anything, made it worse. They're more locked in. They're more scary to deal with. Cells is still going to pop off. Pickles is still reliable. and you got to deal with that duo where essentially, yes, you're going to have a couple of players that are more average, but Cells and Pickles have done amazing so far on entries, combined with like a +9 on entries, plus that looks wrong, +17 on trade differential, which that's right, they're just trading out like madmen.
By attackers.
Excuse me, but I didn't realize that the whole plan was just carry your team. So far, obviously, less carry. Seeing Hype Gotti step into his own after him being a BO5 rookie. These long ones possibly giving him more time to adjust. I think the bigger thing, though, is with that tech pause, if you were as smart as an IGL, you would have thought and tried to stay with your team about how they play. Their style, the bans we could go for. I think that's why we saw the Black Hole go off early after Border. They're willing to just waste the ban there. That's why we saw the Blitz. They're willing to waste as many bans as they can, try to curb that aggression. And to be fair, it's worked relatively well. Without the shields, they haven't been able to generate the same pressure they usually do. They can't generate the same, extreme, I guess, anxiety you have to play against going against Matrix. He can't go back to a shield, and he can't take space anywhere near as good as he wants to. He can do it on a Monty, but then his aggression is gone. You're down your entry player. While they got rid of the aggressive shields first, there's just so much more value in those to the player. Because at the end of the day, you got to play the stats and you got to play the player. You can't just do one. So it'll separate the best IGLs from the average ones. Cross going for a spawn peek. This is barely running out of time to do it. Clear down below. Big question is, can we see Gotti be cleared? Because he's kind of the power position of old. If he gets taken out, there's an A-ball take, and maybe a plant could still be possible, but you got to get some pressure on him. The mute stopping him, it's not going to be an easy thing, and he's going to have to do it in a different way, maybe. A little more unorthodox. No one to deploy the shield yet. No more possible. Gotti goes for a kill. No real person to trade him off. Cav grabs one. Gotti gonna fall off, play this bar side, probably gonna come for a flank up later. Drop might know though. How many bodies are below? It looks like it's just a plan for the Valkyrie. However, if they get some drones here, notice, you can never be too sure. Bodies hopping, we're starting to see sight relatively, unopened here. Pickles, one of the last people in sight, and sight is a desolate land now. A C4 from above, misses. Time is just going to become the issue. Hype grabs a big kill there. The flank could be possible. However, you got to run up. You got to try to get this planner before it happens. A botch C4. The plant goes down in an entirely different spot. They're just swapping around. They miss. They miss the ping, and huge plant goes down. Now you're paying that postman, even if you're down a man. No, not longer. Gonna be a lot of pressure on the side of the guys in office. One pick, it's a 2v1 for YN. Doesn't look the right direction. Sells down. YN, big round there. Trying to salvage what they can over the half and make sure it's that 3-3. Voltage been probably the most dominant player, I'd say. We've just seen him again and again get these early entries, get these kills when they're necessary, and he's just constantly causing issues. His EPS is high, his entries are good, his trade differential is great, his cost is 100% right now. Everyone's just playing at their top level, and you can kind of see that. Like, so far we've seen Cells have 3 1v1 or 1v2 or more clutches. This man is ridiculous when it comes to these clutch or lose situations. And he's winning pretty oftenly, and we've seen that. Aces for him in Border. Actually 2 there. Probably one of the more unique situations, but a lot going on. And been a little bit more than 3 hours now since that first map, and fatigue starts to set in. You start to see players get tired, players get sloppy, they miss something. Some will improve. and that's going to separate. I think the more if we go to this final map here, we're going to see teams and we're going to see the players truly separate the best and the ones that are ready for those finals, ready for the big screen, ready for, when it actually matters, and then teams that aren't ready. Voltage have been praying for the day they could finally do it. They've gotten so close to the big game and so close to that gold trophy, but they've always ended up with silver. 9 singular grand final plays and not a single one except one. 1 in 9 is probably not what you hoped for going in. Sells one of the newer players in the team, to tell you fair, proven to be an extreme improvement from what he was, and I'd argue a player that could probably go to any D1 team right now and put up good work. I'd argue one of the more underrated players simply because he doesn't have the media presence to start, in my opinion. I think he has what it takes to be a top player in console. I think if you put him on 907, he would outshine Guido. If you put him on Redemption, he would outshine Charlie Rose. If you put him on Obey, I think he'd outshine. And I think that really speaks to the player he is and how much he can adapt. Like, we're seeing him more on the floor as we're seeing him in these passive roles, but he's still putting up the numbers he needs and more to keep his team in the fight. Aggression so far. Pickles here, I think he's just trying to find one window kill. Because if he can find just something, it's a huge play for him. Starting to hear it, playing very close to the castle, surprisingly. Playing this very aggressive angle to try to hold basement stairs, but the problem is if that window opens, you're no longer going to be able to hold it. Basement stairs can be a dangerous spot. Bodies upstairs. Everyone's just kind of grouping up, waiting for their time. Starting to see these floors go out. Gotti on the Blackbeard. That not stand away. But a much better game from him so far. Pickles taking that step back. Question is, can he handle that Blackbeard? We saw Matrix do it and him essentially carry his team to an entirety of a game win. But question is, can they pull that off here? Can we see the same level of dominance? Bad C4, no damage at all. We'll see Gotti start taking more and more of the map control here. Time's leaking down though. Players are going to start running back here. They're scared. Cav holding an aggressive angle here. Possibly going to be forced out though. As a player, there's so much you got to do, so much you got to look for. Mira grabs one with her C4. The down, but can they get the finish? They cannot. Cav is going to be the thing though. If we see Cav go entirely on drone, possibly get 1-2 picks, that could be the best thing that could happen to him. This game is going to come down to these rounds here where, it looks impossible that you need to win. Gotti, he doesn't know. A miss from Cav, though, forced to back off. Not get the kill. Takes damage, and she couldn't finish it off. And time's lowering down. You got to be very careful now because you're approaching the bottom of the half with so little time left. Everyone's going to essentially have to drop and try to go for it. You get one, but Cav cracks. All they got to do is hold. Miss from him. It's a huge one, too. Stop the planner. He can't plant down, and YN won a big round there. Came down to the wire, but these enemy there are not forcing them to try to shoot and not having enough time to hit that button. We're just seeing these, it's been the same thing as we're seeing these 2-round swings, these 3-round swings, and the problem is that once you get to the point of like match point, it's no one wants to deal with that. What do we see? Do we see a final map, the map 4 coming out, the oh so elusive max maps? We see YN ending it here, ending on a good note with a dominant 3-1 finish.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Because if you go to map 3, or if you go to the final map here, you're no longer happy. YN have had this pillow of comfort from winning that upper bracket and having a dominant first map, but that won't be able to save that. gonna be on the same maps. If you lose, you go home. That's for both sides now. If we get to there, and it's really just a question of, is YN gonna, you know, really show that there's a reason they're the Wild Boys team? There's a reason they're a paid team, or are they just gonna kind of flounder? Really gotta see, because conflicting people in the chat too. You have Grace Coolio, who's probably one of the biggest Wild Boys reps, and then Ford, who is literally 95% of OOG. Sorrowful doesn't, or whatever his name is, doesn't count. He doesn't do anything. Like a certain lineup with red and black in it. Like maybe a little bit more satire and friendly. It'd certainly help we're not similar to that certain. Okay, and YN gonna have to prove himself again as they're down a player. Had it happen twice now. Same guy, and they were able to win the first time, but this round here, I think matters a lot more, because the farther you can stay away this match point, the more scary it gets. But you can't stop it. It's scary. Better grabs the kill on the cab, trying to go for the aggression kill, bring it back, but now it's just gonna get even deeper. Gonna see Frags play this piano angle on half wall, searching for something, searching for a kill, searching for a damage, a peek behind, looking for just a little more to work with, as he knows time and the pressure is closing in on him, but he's trying to just find that gap, find a moment to bring his team back into this. The clock ticks down. He's being forced out. Drop returns, worst timing though. Bodies hop in. He's able to get one. Can he get the Blackbird? The question. A missed bash. He's essentially praying for dear life. Gets the down on the Gotti. Run looks impossible. Looks a little bit closer now. The problem is if they go for fight here, it's realistically winnable. A 2v2. Frags and this Doc here have really just saved the round. Down one player, and they've just played their trades right, and they've been able to keep the numbers, keep it close. And big question is, what can we see from the most back? What can we see from the 2v1. You're stuck in a position, could better clutch. Down goes out. YN do it. Quad from Frags to keep it together, and suddenly Voltage on the back pedal. One round away from that match point. A scary prospect, because you're approaching where it's you win or lose. There is no more round. It's scary, scary time. Voltage need to get rounds here. They need to bring it back, because love a little bit of banter. But it's gonna be close, because you're really cutting it. We've seen Pickles. He's one of the best late game players in the entirety of console. And unless we're talking like Abolish, or we're talking about, you know, Vizla, these players that have been the IGL, that player to run it all, and they've seen it all.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
You're
bombs
really
as
going to
they
struggle
can.
to find a player or a team that's as good on that late game, as good as Voltage is. They've struggled because we've seen great plays from Frags, great plays from Cab. Even when down, they're able to just keep up mentally. They're able to stay together. And I think that has a lot to do with that. These teams have such different mindsets. Voltage is a rebuilding new team here. They still have a lot of life left in them, but YN isn't that anymore. This is, you win here or you're done. You have no legacy. You never truly won it all.
10 seconds.
And it makes it so much harder for, you know, any motivation, because you're desperate to win these. You're desperate to go out on a big bang and, you know, show out. Voltage trying to just essentially just prove that they're one of the best teams everyone talked about. Overrated. Pickles has still got it, and you know he can really lead a team to a grand finals and win. So far he's been there 9 or 10 times, depending on what you count him as. And it matters so much. Voltage get that first pick, but once again we've seen how they play with this. With even when down a player, they play aggressive. They still play with themselves and they trust each other, and that's the big issue. Is you lost your top frag, that is big, but can your other team compensate? Can you compensate when it matters most? When the match point is right there. The gates to a win are just as close as ever, and We've seen this before. Just chasing. Pickles grabs another big one and starting to just slowly collapse in. Bodies, Cav, taking the aggressive angle. He's got to try to get killed here one at a time. He's essentially pushed back to both sides. Pickle one, because they're all running towards you. Is literally half of the team looking for him. A wanted man still grabs kills. A beautiful play by Cav. The catalyst, and we're suddenly back to even. YN go down one though. Gotti still in this Blackbeard shield. It's the best things in the game. Done amazing on it. Later on, this nade's gonna force him out. Who gets the down though? Probably won't be able to finish. Now stuck in, can he keep himself untraded? Can he get that pick and keep it still? No, there's not a 1v2. Both players over here, even though it's far away from sight, they're both trying to fight for it. 1v2. YN down the man. But it's Mooch. He's clutched these before. He's been a great player in these 1v1s, in these situations where you gotta clutch, and you see that mid left, everyone's just gonna drone, they're gonna find their man. Let's wonder where. They know he's in library, but still have a lot to do. Even if he's back in sight, it's a dangerous prospect, especially with how much time is on the board. You have the Mira, but you have a lot you have to clear. You have a lot you have to worry about. From any side. And essentially, they know he's behind the Mira at this point. They have the comm, they have the ping, and it's really just a setup. You're going to have to see Mooch get aggressive here, because he can't let it go. He can't let it come in. Damage, but it isn't enough. They're not going to swing. Yn's got to find something. It doesn't happen. Voltage. Stave off the match point. 5-4. Close as it's been. Voltage approaching that winner go home. YN trying to stop it from going to that final map there. One of the best you can come into for the side of Voltage going to the club. It's one of their best maps. They know what they're doing there, and it gets scary because now you approach that there's possible overtime, and it's infinite overtime here. You can't just win on a whim of 8-7. You got to win too. And that's going to be hard. Question is, can we see it happen? Can we see that level of play come through? Both teams kind of just, they're approaching, they're gassed, they're mentally tired, and that's the big thing. You just got to worry about that as a team and as everything, really.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Basic setup should be from the first floor kitchen. It relies on this verticality, relies on only that second floor as hard as you can. That's why you're probably going to see, as we see that one mirror go upstairs, surprisingly not two. Even you're probably going to spend bandits up here is another thing. You know how powerful it is. Certainly be interesting now. You can see either team really pull it out here. Both have their own motivations, reasons. Can YN complete their farewell tour? Finish it off and see some of their players go on to new things. Cav certainly thinks so. Gotten the first kill in a better. Blink Watch is gone. You have two, but still a big loss. Question, can we see Cells? Can we see Gotti? Can we see Pickles pop off an 8? Big whiffs from both sides. Pickle finishes as a dead man, and a 2-player advantage on a run that's so influential. I think you'll just see a lot of these teams are going to take it slower. They're going to, even if they're down players, they're worried. YN don't want to lose their advantage, and we don't. And I guarantee you that we don't want to see from Voltage a throwaway here back to match point. Give them hope. You don't want to see it. You want to try to stop them now. See the blitz on Gotti. Been a great shield player so far. Able to hold it down and really keep his team together. Score goes out. It's a miss and time closes down. They left good tag on Gotti, but potentially playing C4 guessing. Kill for YN 4v2. Voltage have a disadvantage. Should go their way. A body goes out into 1v3. Cells has been here before. One of the strongest 1v3, strongest clutch players in the entirety of League right now. Odds don't look in his favor though. It looks like it should be, and maybe it's never meant to, but can you truly be sure with him? Can you truly say for certain that he won't be able to win it? He knows where he is, but it's just a guess. We can't be sure. It's a 2v1. The numbers close in, and now you're gonna have to go upstairs and fight them at their own game. You have to fight the hatch. 15 seconds left. It's just gonna close down and down and down. Maybe can he go unknown? He does, and YN approach the match point. Do or die here for Voltage. Win now. Here, go to map 3. Once again, you're gonna have to see them kind of break the cycle here. They have to get a win here and stop the momentum. It's truly unknown though. Can Voltage pull it out here? Can they finish and we're done? Is that something they can do? Can they really come back? Scary, scary time for them, and you know, it's everyone's really on high emotions. Every single team is at their limits. You're seeing that. Players are missing things. Pickles had a huge win for the side without arguably to figure that out. But can you ever truly count out the players right now? Gotti's coming to his own. Cells has performed genuinely the best player in the entirety of the series. He's been consistent. You've seen him every single time. And can you ever truly be sure? When it's that 1v2, when it's that 1v3, can you ever truly be sure you've won a Cells in the board? I don't think you can. I think that makes it even more scary. Gonna see upstairs. They seem to try to do the same hold on Vert. Use your C4s. Go aggressive on these spawn peaks. Pickles grabs it though. He already lost that first fight once. He's not going to do it again. Big kill in the entry here, and they need it. Player down below could be scary if they get a C4 down. Being below here gives him a great positioning too. It's a bit of a guess though. He can't truly know. Timing could be perfect. Barely missed it. He could have had the kill and tied it back up, but instead damage is going to be all fine. That library could be the play. Pickles grabs another. Repenting for those 2 rounds. He got 1 kill, could be 2. Forced to fall off. Matrix. Getting the shield, getting the BO5. Both of these teams here on their limits. YN ties it back up here. Getting Pickles was on a run and put to sleep here. Damage on the move. She's lower than ever. Frag's possibly looking for a spawn peek kill here. Both teams want to find that thing to hang themselves on. You're at a point where everything is close. Nothing is certain, and you can never truly know. But I lurk at piano. Big kill. All you need to do is not throw. Cells cannot die here. Don't leave your team with that 2v1. There's too much to do, too much to watch. A plant could go down if they're not sure. He's got to stop it. Process is being held. It's a 1v2. Cells has it all. They lose. YN. Do it. Their farewell tour completes with a win. Beating them and what could have been everything for Voltage. What could have been a new chapter. Put to sleep by one falling down. YN win it. Certainly not what I expected. I expected we'd see that final map, but hell of a game. Frags. Come on in here. Come on. Come on, give me just a chance. Come on. Yay.
Yep.
How does it feel? Team sort of
man,
slowing down, and you finish it with the farewell tour. You finish it off.
Hey man, you know how it be, bro. Like our second league win as a team, you know, everybody's happy.
Come to party, nigga. You're talking to yourself.
No, we're talking to the coach. We're doing a post-game interview.
Oh.
All right, bro.
What the fuck?
Tweaking. Matrix now tweaking. How does? But I mean, seriously, how does it feel? Y'all were honestly, I heard a lot of shit talking. Everyone was gonna say Pickles was gonna win it. Y'all were just gonna get 3-0'd.
I mean, honestly, a lot of people has always seen us as the underdogs in a lot of the league games that we play, but you know, we just overcome everything low key. So, you know, we've been practicing, we've been fucking grinding for fucking hours, and in a couple years now, we've lost a couple finals, but we had to bring it back. You know, we had to bring it home for YN.
Okay, then I mean, as you ended here, my question is, as obviously this team's gonna be obviously disbanding relatively soon. That is public. You willing to say where you're going? Some of you? Any plans? Any plans?
I could be joining a separate team.
Well, I know
in
that,
the near
but
future for
who?
sure.
Don't make me ask you. Don't me ask Grace. She'll tell me, but tell us here.
I'm joining Senate.
Holy shit. Okay. Wow.
I'm joining Senate.
He's ditching Wild Boys. You heard that, folks.
I'm joining Senate.
Grace, now you gotta have all the reason to shit talk.
No, chill. That's my mod. That's my mod. You can't do that.
Card, what is your Twitch name, or where were you streaming?
Cards. I gotta publish it, but I'll send it again if y'all need.
Hey, if any team is looking for players, you know, D-Frags here, 15 kills. I am open to any contract.
What I will say, bro, someone save Cells, bro. Someone save that man.
Hey, Cells is a D2 player, man. You know, this is how it is.
He actually I don't know if you've seen in the chat, but we were actually talking shit back and forth after that first map. They just, you know, they had to get rid of my aura on Blackbeard, Blitz, and Legion shotgun.
I mean, that 18 kills to map 1. I mean,
I'm surprised you haven't found a team. I'm certainly interested because
they banned Lock and sold their team, bro. What am I watching, bro?
I think that this is genuinely going to be probably I don't know, we'll see, because I think this final, you winning it is going to shake up quite a bit of leagues in free agents, because I don't think Pickles is going to stay. I don't think Cells is going to. I think this team is going to collapse.
Yeah, I think so. Also, I also think that a lot of the players. I think a lot of the players that are leaving YN, or well, since we're disbanding, there's bigger opportunities for a lot of people, you know, in different roles in different teams. So maybe one day we'll play against each other. You know what I'm saying? We'll show love from the other side of the fields. You know, so it'll be great. It'll be fun.
Yeah, hopefully a couple of rivalries. I mean, it's always awesome to see. That's.
I mean, the good thing is, cards we're all still really good friends and stuff, and we still all play ranked together and this and that. So you know, it's definitely gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
Fucking nigga named Derek.
I think y'all actively created the most chaos you could end with, and I love it. You win against Voltage. Pickles goes another game and another final without pulling it out. He can't do it. He's had what, like 9-10 finals, and he's only won Lunar League. The fraud allegations
Yeah,
are
I
coming in
mean,
hard.
we're not
bro.
far off. We're not far off of him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but
the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with us. It's like we first started terribly. Like multiple finals appearances, multiple playoff appearances, and we never win. You wanna know why? One, because inconsistency. Two, because we just don't have enough passion. But now that we have the passion, sadly we're disbanding. But we went out as league winners, you know what I'm saying? Twice. Not once, but twice. Well-deserved wins that we worked hard for. Pickles just got to keep grinding, you know what I'm saying? He'll get his wins. He deserves it for sure.
No, honestly, Pickles just needs better players. I mean.
Okay. All right.
I would
Or
say
that.
no, you
Cells
shouldn't
can
have
save
to.
that team.
Yeah, say Cells is probably, from what I know, gonna leave, or I'll spoil the sauce. He's gonna stay with Zave, and they're gonna go D1 because.
Oh, word.
This I can't say because he said this publicly on a general. So, that's paid
Attack on
more.
Cap is
That's
not
more paid
interested
than
in any
Obey.
team, bro. I'm gonna
Zave
sign up
Esports
with-
pays more than
Ooh.
Obey per game.
Might have to join them.
Damn, bro. I
Yeah,
can't believe
y'all,
it,
y'all gotta
Derek.
beg for the. They have full contracts, so it's a little different. It's crazy though.
Damn, Derek.
But like that was a
Hey,
hell of a
man,
game
it's
to end it
literally-
with, man.
Hey man, if anybody's watching the stream, you know we got a lot of free agents, a lot of good players on our team.
Y'all
that-
essentially just like half this team is just gonna go to D1 immediately after.
Dude,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
telling you, man.
a lot of
I don't-
offers have been offered to the players. So
I mean, like, if you really think about it, bro, a lot of us on YN, like, I've said this about everybody, quite literally, we all have potential. You know, like, there's not one singular player on YN that does not have somewhat potential. You know what I'm saying? Now that we are disbanding, we can really show our true colors and try to excel, off of YN. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can just dispatch everywhere around the field and show what we're really made of. Like Smutney, for example. Like, if me and Smutney were to be on the same league team, for example, me and him now can, you know, thrive in a whole nother league as a duo instead of having to do it as a team. You know, we can show our true colors, and then so on and so forth with other players in YN.
Yeah, hold on. I'll talk to you for just a second after. This has been Grand Finals. YN, pull it out, end the farewell tour, and see you next week. This is going to be week 2 of Counting Cards. And we have a very special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I am abolishing a CC member on the league team. CC, one of the most